Right? Oh my God.
It's just us.
Hey guys,
Hi.
how are you? Let me get the comments on. How are you? So, Chels, this
Yeah.
is the other side of the table of the view, something like that. Carline, some people may already know Carline,
Yeah,
the center of the universe on Facebook.
that's right.
Guys, this is
Aw.
Carline. This is
Hello.
Chelsea, and of course, everyone knows Bella.
Hi guys.
So I'm not used to hosting. You know, I kind of like to sit back. Bella, I should have asked you if you wanted to host. I should have asked you. Next week, if you want to host, you could take the bull by the reins. It's all up to you. So we have some discussions to talk about, but I do have, I want you guys to know I invited a guest. And she's going to come in and talk about what COVID has done to her.
Wow.
So she'll be here in about 15 minutes. In the meantime, let's talk about Meghan Markle. Yes!
I love her.
I think you're obsessed with her in a good way, in a good way.
I just want them to win. I love anything to do with history and like the royal family.
Yes.
And
Yes.
because of that, YouTube is constantly suggesting things about Harry and Meghan to me now, even though originally it was more Anne Boleyn in the Tudor area. And just the more that I've learned about what kind of a person she is, you can't help it with her. And of course, we've all known, like, we love Harry. So
yes.
It's so exciting to see them get this deal because you know that they're going to do something really, really big with it. And I feel like Diana definitely was pulling the strings from heaven to make this happen.
Exactly. And second of all, Chelsea and Carline, how's the baby, Carline? Is that the girl?
Aww. Hi, little baby.
She just had twins.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
Oh my God, look how cute she is.
Jada, right?
Jada, yeah.
Hi,
Jada. So cool.
Jada.
You know, Colleen, I've been looking at those little babies, and I think you gotta, I think they're gonna be like Lyra. I think those are the two that are, special gifted.
Yes.
I could see it in their eyes.
Yeah, especially with this one.
Good.
Here, like the eyes. You can see by the eyes, and I'm like, wow.
Colleen said I did a reading on her, and I said the girl will be your last baby.
Yes, and you were right.
And she came second. She came after the boy.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's a boy and a girl. I was thinking,
yeah.
It was gonna be last one, and it's like, oh, I was thinking she was gonna say I have two girls. So you have a boy, and then the girl came after the boy.
Yes.
So he's just older.
So I think she's going to be the little, metaphysical gift to you.
Yes.
Which I think all of us are who we are because we wind up with children that are gifted. How's your son, Bella? Does he have the gift?
Oh, he's super psychic. Super duper duper psychic. Like the way that Chelsea was describing her daughter before we started. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. Like last November, he made me go to Bath and Body Works and buy all the hand sanitizers because he told me that we were all going to get sick and it wasn't the flu and we needed to protect ourselves and that we weren't going to be able to get any hand sanitizer. And then he was like, Mom, we need to get toilet paper before nobody has it either. What? I'm like, wait, why would we not have toilet paper? Like, I'm not even thinking. I'm like worried about like when my client's calling me to talk about her boyfriend in an hour and what I need for dinner. And this kid's sitting here telling me all this stuff about like we need to start hoarding things. And like months later, he's like, Mom, remember when I told you about the toilet paper?
I tried to tell you.
I was warning you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So he's actually trading right now and learning how to work with his energy and do magic and all that kind of stuff.
Nice.
How old is he?
He's going to be 10 in December. I started my training when I was like when I was 6, my grandma started teaching me things, but then I really worked with a mentor like from the age of 12 up.
Yes.
Wow,
So we start them early.
Question for all of you I would have would be like, did you ever, okay, so I didn't really learn until crazy, until after I was 13, but did you ever, before you started learning, ever feel like you were different? You know what I mean?
God.
Like, did you ever notice things or see things that other people didn't? Like, you felt like people weren't understand you because of your ability, so also you feel like maybe I'm crazy, I don't know, but you don't share all because you think the other people, the kids, are gonna look at you like you're weird.
And they do.
Oh yeah.
I definitely did. I'm weird.
I kept it to myself until I was in high school, and then I was like, give me your palms, let me read them and see what kind of a person you are so I know if I want to be your friend. I didn't care anymore at that point. I was like, screw you, we're all gonna graduate and probably never talk to each other again anyway.
In my adulthood, I was like, you know what, fuck it. I'm gonna do whatever the hell I want. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do psych work. And then I saw Trace, and I was like, this is a sign.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Uh-oh.
And
Okay.
you're frozen, but I can hear your voice. I'm really proud of you, Carline, because I watched you push and push through and push through, and you just became you and Chelsea both. Like with Chelsea, it seems more just development over the years, but I watched you just try and figure it out.
Yes.
And just do. And I was like, look at this for the both of you to just like do it. And I'm so proud of you, Chelsea, because Lyra needs a mom like you.
We're all kind of mirrored towards each other, I think. You know, when you have that synergy, it just kind of works.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. So we still got about 10 minutes. Did either one of you have any like preference on Princess Markle? She's still my princess. I don't care. Europe. Any feelings? One way or the other? Any feelings on Princess Markle or Harry or what the royals, kick them out? Or Diana? I'm like you, Bella. I love Diana.
Yes.
Diana. Oh
yeah.
You mean Princess Diana?
Yeah, Princess Diana, Harry's mom.
Yeah, Harry's mom. I think that they got away with their dignity.
Yep.
They definitely did. I mean, if you look at what the royal family did, first of all, you make them get married on the day that Anne Boleyn got.
Wait, what happened?
Their wedding day was the anniversary of Anne Boleyn getting beheaded.
Who's that?
No, Anne Boleyn, Henry VIII's wife that lost her head.
Oh, I didn't know the history.
Why did they do that?
Oh, yeah. Because they were trying to send a message to her, F with us and we'll take your head off.
Yeah,
what?
Yeah, if you like actually look at all of the stuff that they've done to this woman, on her birthday, they're online saying happy birthday, and they're on the royal website deleting all of her accomplishments, all of her humanitarian work and everything, and all it says that she's a former actress. But she had all of these charitable accomplishments and things that she did. She was a UN ambassador and all this other stuff before she ever even started dating him.
Right.
So they've been real shady towards them and blocked a lot of stuff that they did. And they said that Harry is actually working on a documentary that's going to show the real side of like what his mom really went through. And I texted Tracy about it and I was like, so he is done with his family. As you know, they will never let them back. But they stripped him of all his military titles when he left too. And it's like he earned those. He served 10 years in the military and fought in Afghanistan.
And he's heartbroken about that.
I mean, it's definitely bad. It's a terrible feeling to be like estranged from your family. You gotta be pushed to a certain point. Like they're very seem like a very close knit family, and then having your brother be like, "Oh, I'm staying there. I'm gonna stay in that temple," and you'd be like, "No, I'm gonna flee." Something had to push you enough.
Yeah.
And they can be, and I don't know that much about her, but I also knew that she was an actress. Now to them, but can it be about fame? Because really, what matters is it doesn't matter. They're famous in their own way, right? I don't think a lot of them mind some of the fame. I'm sure sometimes it's annoying, but
I don't think the royal family understood that both people were capable of being famous in their own right. I think they're so egotistical that they thought these two kids needed them.
Yeah.
I don't think they got it. It's like being so old-fashioned. They didn't, right? It's like being so old-fashioned that you can trick the elderly because you're too old-fashioned.
Yeah.
Wait. PsychicBella Gio is saying her name was Princess Sophia Charlotte. Is that the same person you're talking about?
No, Princess Sophia Charlotte was the first Black princess.
Yes.
Okay.
And Anne Boleyn was actually a queen. She was married to Henry VIII. That's why they left the Catholic Church and became the Church of England, the Anglican Church, because he had to change religion so he could divorce Catherine the Great of Aragon, so that he could marry Anne Boleyn, who was his mistress. And then after he married her and she didn't give him a son, he had her beheaded. And he lied and said that he got the people around him to lie and say that she slept with her brother so that he had an excuse to kill her to get rid of her because he knew he couldn't have another divorce.
That's so rude.
But you know what's so funny? Is one of his later wives, who was also named Catherine, she actually did cheat on him and he cut her head off too. He was evil.
The royal family seems like they're evil. Who are you kidding?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they're terrible, terrible people. Listen, before the girl comes on, I've got a few things to say. Guys, we're running into COVID coming back up again. Remember, people are still dying from the COVID. Just because it seems like it's not around, it is. I'm going to make sure everyone gets their oil of oregano, at least 3,000 milligrams. I forgot why it works, but I'll do a video on why it's good for you and the COVID.
You drink it?
Oh, it's pills.
Oh, okay. I'll have to get some of that. I have fresh grown oregano.
Yeah. No. You gotta get the oil. You gotta get the oil, and it looks like vitamin E pills.
Okay.
And it helps against the COVID. That's the first thing.
Cool.
Vitamin D3. You have to make sure Lyra's getting her vitamin D3 because nobody's going outside, like going to the beach and getting, So even white folks are becoming deficient. We always are. Black folks never, because we don't believe in the sun. If we're too chocolate, we're like, okay, we'll go to the beach today, but we're not going all summer.
You tan?
Y'all will go.
I know a lot of white folks that they're like, I'm not dark enough. I'm not dark enough. They just keep on tanning, and I'm like, I'm already black now. So what? Why are you going further? It's the opposite of Michael Jackson. Where are you going with this? What?
What's happening? All right. So because of the COVID, a lot of people, especially now that it's turning winter in those other states, the three of us are from California, so we're going to get summer until November. But there are people that have 40 degrees right now, and Colorado is trying to snow. So get your vitamin D3. Get your vitamin D3. That's mandated.
And vitamin oil, and I just do 2 drops under the tongue. I don't know what yours is. Is yours a pill?
It's a pill. I put it back in. It's just a little, It looks like a vitamin E pill. Look, Chelsea.
Oh, okay. Yeah, mine's like a dropper.
A vitamin E pill, right? Oh, no, the vitamin D3 is a dropper. Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I mean.
I just put in whatever I drink.
It doesn't taste.
Well, you're stronger than I. So I have one more thing to tell you. this is made, suggested by Melissa, who does the Gem Show on the radio every Saturday. So Mars in retrograde is what we're in right now until November 13th. And today she did a show on the stones that protect you. So rhododendronite, rose quartz, amethyst, rhodochrosite, and
I'm like, I got my amethyst right here. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so big. I was like, Rachel, I'm like, what's wrong with Chelsea? It's like 10, 12 pounds.
Yes.
I have most of mine are in the living room right now, but I've got them all.
For Mars in retrograde. So I panicked and I just took out all my stones. And then Melissa makes this candle. She makes a candle kit. And I just put it in a bowl and light it. And I've been doing it this is my last night because she sends a kit out with 3 candles. And I'm telling you, whatever Melissa's doing and how she's, training people and letting people know, it really does work. Because I'm not a crystal expert.
I love Melissa. She messages me on Instagram and she's like, girl, get yourself this kind of plant. You can grow it. I promise you. Because I had told her that I couldn't keep plants alive.
Is that the money plant?
I think it was the bamboo that she was telling me about.
Oh, bamboo tends to die on me too. I don't know what that is. And you go to doctor's offices and their plants are green and beautiful.
Usually they're fake.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on, guys. Henry VIII.
Some different ones, and they're doing pretty good. My money tree and my it's not poinsettias. It's the philodendrons.
Yes,
I have.
You got philodendrons. They're beautiful.
You think that they're like poison ivy or something? They're just hanging from my walls, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm doing something right, I guess.
Yeah, those plants are good hanging plants. Wait, somebody said Henry VIII was our most famous king.
Yeah.
Not ours, Europe, unless you're from Europe, Elaine. He had 6 wives. When the queen dies and her son Charles takes the throne, he will be known as Charles III.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to just touch on real quick. There's we call it old country magic tradition, like for Italians. We take, you mix salt with oregano and you line the threshold of your door with it, and it keeps out, they say, sickness and bad energy. So it protects your home. So we do it around the perimeters of our home or any doorways leading in. You sweep all the dirt away from you, and then you do that to protect yourself. And also you can take an onion and cut it in half and sprinkle oregano on top of it and stick it in the corners of your house if somebody's sick in there, and it absorbs all the sickness and you throw it away.
I didn't know about the oregano part, but when I'm sick, I take a half an onion, put it in a bowl, and I put it by my bedside. So that's very similar information, even though it's cross multicultural. But I'm going to add oregano this year.
I remember that one. Because I'm so into crystals and gems that I'm just now trying to start to learn, and I want to learn more about, how you're supposed to, amethyst is supposed to not be in light. It takes away some of its energies and pigments. There's different things, and then they say, oh, this kind of, selenite's good underneath the pillow, all the different stuff. So I want to know more, because I probably have most of them myself already. I just want to know where to place them. You know what I mean? What do you put by your front door? Put at your bedroom door? What do you put in your bathroom?
Oh, send me afterwards. I'll follow you on Instagram. I have a little chart about where you're supposed to put the crystals, and I'll text it to you. I just found it the other day, so I was going to post it on Instagram, and I kept forgetting. You just reminded me. And the other thing I was going to tell you guys, because oregano is awesome, you can also put it in a glass of water, and if you ever see how people rub the egg on themselves to remove bad energy, you can do that with a glass of water, and it absorbs all of it. And then you take it outside away from you and you break it. So what you do is, obviously you want a plastic bag or something to put it in.
Yeah.
So I'll put it in a plastic bag, tie it up, and then break it on the ground, and then you throw it away from you, like in the garbage, like as far away from you as you can, to get people's evil eye off of you and away from you.
So you're saying soak the oregano in water?
Mm-hmm.
Then, like, put it on your face?
And no, so like what you would do is, so say that this had oregano in it and it was a glass container.
Yeah.
You basically scan yourself with it, like you would if you were saging yourself. Okay. So you're going across all the points of yourself, so that way and you go from the top down, so you're removing anybody's like negative energy that they've put on you. And then you take it away from your home, like outside, like for example, I live in condos, so I would take it in a bag, like right to the dumpsters. Mm-hmm. And I would take it to the farthest dumpster away from my home and break the glass in the bag, and then you toss it in the garbage can because you want to break that evil eye and get it away from you.
Out into it and then throwing that away. Now, could you use like a spritzer, or are you actually putting the water on yourself, or are you just holding the cup around you?
No, you just hold the cup around you and it absorbs all of it. You can leave the cup overnight in your house too if you feel like your house has a lot of bad energy. Put it in the center of your home and then do the same thing.
Okay. For how long?
That's cool.
Like when you do it over yourself, just as long as it takes to pass over your body. If you're going to do it for your house, I would say do it overnight.
Okay. That's cool. Good information.
So let me just read what everybody else is saying. Cut lemon in half and put around the house. Florida water is absolutely good for protection. I saw something else. Here goes Natia. I'm so happy she's here.
I put Florida water in my spray bottles with my cleaning solutions.
Yes.
I put it in my mop water. And then what I do is I clean the floor with Florida water to clear out everything, and then I use road opener water, and I put it in my mop bucket, and I wash my doors with it too.
What do you guys think about rose water?
Wow, that's amazing. You're amazing.
Water lately.
What's
that? What you say, Chuck?
What do you guys think about rose water? Like all natural rose water?
I love rose water. I love it.
I wash my face, and I will just and it just feels so good.
Yes.
You can put it on trees or in the room. It's not like it's water.
When you use rose water, especially if you make it yourself, it makes you feel so at peace.
Calm.
Mm-hmm. Calm. So before I bring the tea on, Mommy, someone's mic is too harsh. Can you hear me now? Okay.
Yeah, it's echoing a little bit slightly in the background, but
before I bring the tea on, I just want to remind everyone I've got a Dear God journal for you all. Did you see this, Bella?
No.
That's so cool.
It's been my project for 2 years. Yay! And last year I wanted to start it on Dia de las Muertes, and I didn't have enough time. So I said, oh, God, I'll just wait another year. So this is the Dia de las Muertes edition, and I'm selling it right through Halloween. And then by Christmas, it'll be something else. That's why it's called the edition. But it's a journal, all right? And it's a journal to celebrate your ancestors.
Ooh, I love that. Good for all souls.
Yes, they're real. Let's talk to them. Let's talk to grandma that passed on, mama that passed on. You know, many people, have, family members that are passed on, and they're in a lot of pain. So we're going to, organize the pain. Also, for those of you that are doing candle magic and writing your letters to God, everyone always says, what should I do with the letter? What should I do with the letter? And for the most part, I tell people to burn the letter because I don't want them to keep looking at the letter to see what God provides. Now, you can keep the letter.
Cool.
This could be your candle magic, and where you can say to God what you want when you do your candle magic. And the letters are extensive. I actually have a lot of my letters. I'll show you guys, when after Natia gets
Tracy,
on.
that's really cool. That's a really cool accomplishment.
Thank you, Chelsea.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. Thank you.
That's way cool. I can't wait to see one. Absolutely. By the way, I love your background. Probably side note, but
my background? My Chinese curtains that I ordered in January. It didn't get here till like June or July.
Yeah.
And because of the COVID, I don't know where it was. And when I opened it, I was like, oh, it probably has COVID all over it. But I was like, no, I'm not the president. There's no COVID on this stuff. I will not act like the president. I love my Chinese people. Huh?
I was just like, what did I buy to bring in my home? Oh, no.
I know. But no, I pushed through and everyone loves my curtains. So I want you all to plug yourself. I am TracyBrownLive.com. If you want the book, just go to TracyBrownLive.com. You can purchase the book straight from my website.
Cool.
All right. Let me bring Natia on.
I'm so excited for the journal, Tracy. That's beautiful. I love Dia de los Muertos. And Santa Muerte is my favorite too. Hi.
Hi, Natia. You are so adorable looking.
Thank you.
Cool name too.
I
almost sounds weird, but like no, you look like a Natia. I've never met a Natia, but
she
you
looks like a Natia. Right.
I don't look like a Chelsea.
And you know who she really looks like? She looks like Mike Tyson's girlfriend. What's her name, guys?
Robin Givens.
Robin Givens. You look like Robin Givens.
My mother helped me figure this one out. Robin Givens.
Your mother must be in my age bracket because she was like,
she's a Leo.
No. Oh, she's a Leo. Wow.
Just saying.
What's your sign if you have a Leo mom?
A Taurus.
Ooh. You guys must have had a lot of conflicts growing up.
We were chill.
Good
I can't say anything because she's watching in her room, so I can't say much.
No, you did right. You did right. I'm a Leo mom. That's how my son would have answered. Chelsea. Jack said to Brian, "Is your mom still kicking ass?" And Brian was like, "Uh-huh."
That part. That's pretty funny.
In case I forgot to tell all of you, Chelsea is the one that sometimes you hear me talk about that was on the show, All That with My Sons. I've known Chelsea since she's been 13 years old. And her mom and I, at one time, were totally best friends because let's call a spade a spade. Your mom was an oddball in her way, and I was...
Really? Like no one else liked you guys. You're like, what are those weirdos? They're both like on their own. My mom's not a person who's like, she's a people pleaser, but she's not like that, like, oh, she doesn't really get something. She's not going to be like over the top with them, but like with Tracy, there's like, blah, 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 blah. It was, yeah, quite something.
Your mom could actually try and fit in with the others. I couldn't fit in with the other moms. I just couldn't.
I didn't really try too hard with the others.
But in the long haul, they figured out she was a little oddball. And so we connected. And it's been a beautiful relationship ever since. There's nothing that Chelsea's mom can call me about. Zero. And I do not judge her. By the way, I'll never forget. Remember my dog Bones?
Of course.
And Chelsea, like, you guys don't know me very well. You think you do, but you don't. Chelsea knows me. And so sometimes I would say things about my dogs, but I could say it naturally to Chelsea. I could say it to you. I can't say it to the public. And Chelsea looked at me one day and she goes, why do you have dogs? And I was like, I don't know. I have no idea. I never forgot that.
It's hilarious. My mom's funny too. That's why it's like they can have differences and different opinions, but they just die laughing. And in the end, like, as if you guys know Tracy at all, when she laughs, her laugh is contagious. And Tracy just makes everyone smile and laugh.
Wait. Natia, I'm gonna let you talk. Wait, Chelsea.
Like, that was funny.
Chelsea, tell them how I got rid of that roommate of y'all's.
Oh, which one? Which one was this one? I'm like, I went through a couple.
No, the one where y'all told me
Amelia?
to get.
Amelia? Was it Amelia?
I don't remember her name, but remember y'all went away for the weekend and I came to the house and she was gone by Sunday.
Oh yeah, you did. Oh, it might have been Amelia. Was it the one that was taller, like who wanted to kind of be modelly, who's from Vegas? Was it that one?
I don't know. She's the one where I pretended to be a psychic. I had my hair like in a. You guys weren't there, but I had my hair in a psychic bun. It was late at night, and the TV was glaring. And I told you I did like this to her. I was like,
but yet she hates tarot cards and stuff, and she gives me like Bible songs on my steps. But yet she would like be spooked out by tarot cards, like you must be evil, you do tarot cards. Yet she was like born again Christian kind of thing. Might have been
that's all your mom had to tell me. She's scared of tarot cards, and I used to have these oversized tarot cards, like huge. And so it took her forever. I had to take a nap because I really wanted to make sure I was there when she got home. And then I figured I'd lock the door. And when you come in through their front door, it's a big sliding glass window, so she couldn't miss me. And they had a big screen TV, like just sitting there. And so the house was dark, the light. And so when she knocked on the door, I pretended not to see her, right? And I was like, oh shit, I'm not ready. And so I pretended not to see her. And I was like this, looking at the TV, but she never met me, right? And so she's knocking again. And so I pulled out the cards and I was like,
spooked her out. That was good. She was a very, very, very bad roommate. She thought you were a witch, like a. And I don't even think the word witch is always bad. I think they're good. I mean, it's all
but that's what she thought, and I was okay with that.
She meant it as in you're evil, like you're an evil witch.
I told your mom if I came, she was going to be out of there. She was out by Sunday. This was Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next day, she went to take a shower, right? And I went to take a shower behind her, but she left all the shower on the floor because she's like spoiled. Very, and I didn't like that. So I took the shampoo and the conditioner that she left open. Okay, I'm a little evil, I have to say. And then I did like this to her bedroom, and I poured out the shampoo, and then I laid it down.
Bad energy.
I laid it down so that it looked like the shampoo still. Any case, she was gone by Sunday. So if you ever need somebody out in your house, I know how to do it.
Out of my own, so. Nightmare roommates. Next episode.
Sounds like, well, Tracy knows what I'm doing to my neighbors, so she knows I'm right up her alley. My neighbor likes to listen to SoundCloud music really loud on a Bluetooth. So I figured out when I was taking the garbage out, technology is a great thing. I could hook my phone up to the speaker and we're within range. So every time he wants to listen to his music, we all get to listen to Martin Luther King Jr. speeches and learn something. And then he gets mad and can't figure out what's wrong with his speaker. And I said, if he keeps it up, Malcolm X is next. Then after that, we will listen to Louis Farrakhan, because there's a bunch of kids in the neighborhood that are always playing outside. So it's like, let them learn something instead of listening to, shoot him up with a gun and all the other crap that they're singing on those songs. It's like, teach the kids.
Just advocating them.
She's doing that against her neighbors. Okay, let's talk to Natia. Natia, how are you?
I'm doing good. I have my cup of tea, so I can power through this and keep my lung and throat clear. So I'm ready.
Yeah. So, you might be around a group of people also that might be able to offer some advice to you. So let's talk about COVID and how you didn't even know you got the COVID.
No.
And so, what was your first memory when they said, "Oh, we think you had the COVID"? When do you think you caught it?
So, hi everyone. I'm based in Boston, even though I'm from Florida. I'm currently in Florida now. My life's work is that I teach kids science and engineering. So I've been doing that for the past 10 years. That's why I'm based in Boston. I went to MIT. I've been there, done that.
Right.
In mid-March, I don't know how it was for the rest of you all. I know San Francisco was probably the only one that went into lockdown before Boston and New York did. And then everyone kind of followed pretty quickly. The first week of March, I had to do a fundraising trip. Then I had to hop back and forth between Boston and New York. And then I had my office. And that week, it was like, okay, I don't know what's going on with this virus, but something was telling me I'm not going to be in this office past mid-March. So we were in hyperdrive, getting all of our stuff together the first 2 weeks of March. And then I remember very distinctly, I was in my office March 15th with 10 other women. And I was like, you know what? I told my team that week, don't come into the office. I will come in and get whatever you need and clear it out. Everyone else was like, oh, we're going to be back in 3 weeks. And I just had a feeling, nah, nah.
Right.
We were in the office and I received an email while we were talking about what was happening in Boston and the major cluster they discovered of COVID cases. And 20 minutes into our meeting, we received an email that we had 15 to 20 minutes to leave the building, that they were shutting it down. They found a COVID case. 3 days later, the city of Boston went into shutdown and school kids were sent home.
Yes.
Those first 2 weeks of lockdown, I only went out to a grocery store once. I am a very paranoid person. If my mother was here to talk to you, she would say I was the one who had hand sanitizer at 6 years old, and I sprayed myself anytime a little boy touched me. I was that kid.
Yeah.
Mid-March to late March, I was doing online classes to help teachers who were kind of panicking because they had childcare, being stuck at home. We were like, our organization was like, we're going to do virtual 8 hours a day with multiple educators across the country to give actual teachers time to get themselves together. It was a grueling schedule because 8 hours virtual, as you guys can see now, we've been in this for 6 months, is no joke. And I clearly bit off more than I can chew. In early April, I thought it was just exhaustion, that mental exhaustion and physical exhaustion because of the situation. But about day 5 or 7 into April, I started to notice I couldn't breathe. And I don't mean the type of, if you have anyone with COPD, not that type of raspy breathing, but it was just a little difficult to get up the stairs. And I was like, oh, well, I'm not exercising at the level I used to exercise. I'm just out of shape. By day 10,
like shortness of breath? Like shortness of breath?
It wasn't shortness of breath. Now that I've been in the 6 months, I thought it was shortness of breath at first, but it was literally, I would wake up in the morning and I couldn't catch my breath. Like it would take me 15, 20 minutes to sit up and I would be kind of that. Shortness of breath is like, I ran outside trying to catch the mailman, and after a couple of minutes, I'm okay. This was like crazy. 30 minutes and an ice pack on my chest and my partner helping me sit up. And I was still trying to get my breathing. Still, I was like, you know what? I'm 29 years old. There's other people who are more urgent cases than me. I'm just going to call my doctor and I'm going to just try to schedule a COVID test. Now, my background is science. So I knew if this was within 4 to 5 days of me first showing symptoms, that is the testing window. And in those early days in April, to get a test in Boston was a freaking nightmare. People were being charged $6,000, $2,000. So I was like, you know what? Yeah. Yes. And so me and my partner, after he started developing shortness of breath the next day, we were like, no, we need to get on the phone, figure out where to get a COVID test. Fortunately, he has a car, which isn't popular in a major metropolitan area. We went to like 5 urgent care clinics that afternoon and none of them would give us a COVID test. They said because they could hear on the phone our breathing, they wouldn't let us get a COVID test. We had to go to one of the emergency care clinics. The problem is the emergency care clinics weren't seeing you unless you had proven contact with someone who was positive. At that time, we couldn't trace where I got it from because I was developing symptoms in April. I hadn't been to an office since mid-March. So the only place of contact that it could have been was the grocery store. And how the heck am I going to trace somebody at the grocery store? So I called my insurance company and they were like, well, we just found out there was a bunch of cancellations at this hospital in the town over to you. I'm going to go ahead and book you. One of the few bright spots in this ordeal. We went over, took the COVID test. It was a Thursday afternoon. As you probably know now, hearing all the stories, some people didn't get the results in 2 weeks. Some of them are still waiting for their results. I was fortunate. They told me because everyone canceled this afternoon because there was a COVID scare, you should have them back in 24 hours. I was like, oh, that's perfect because that will help me dictate what to do the weekend if I need to make more plans.
Right.
Friday comes, the weekend comes, Monday comes, no response. And I was like, oh, well, that must make sense. Everybody else around the country is having delays in testing. They must have had too many tests on Friday. Still being calm. At this time, I'm not able to go to the bathroom by myself. So I really don't need a test to tell me something's not right.
Oh, like, my God.
Really? Like my partner would have to hold me from the bed and bring me to the bathroom level of not being able to walk at times. So I already kind of had a suspicion something was wrong. And heart attacks don't prolong 5 to 7 days. And a stroke doesn't allow you to have both sides of your body operational. So I was like, the news isn't telling me this is how COVID is, but this is starting to line up.
We know now, though. We whatever
know now.
To you, we found out 4 months later, these are some of the residual effects. So
yes.
Go ahead.
So Wednesday, I finally got the test results, and it was from my PCP who called me. And she said, well, I got the results on Thursday evening, but because they were negative, I didn't feel it was urgent to call you.
Oh.
It's Wednesday.
Right.
If my job was waiting on these test results to see if I could come back in, that's a whole 5 days.
Right.
And I emphasize this point. It may sound like I'm going into like minor details, but this is why I'm going into it. It ties into later on. I was like, oh, she must be overwhelmed. She's working from home, trying to be empathetic that everyone has a lot on their plate. Yeah. She's like, oh, you're testing negative. And I'm on the phone doing this. How can I then get treatment? And she goes, well, it sounds like you just need fluids and bed rest based on what I'm hearing. And I'm responding, well, is there any emergency room I can go to for them to do a chest x-ray? I don't know what's wrong, but I feel tears in my lungs and heart. Like I could feel the muscles pulling apart.
Oh my God, you're petrifying me.
I'm sorry, I'm not trying to scare you, but we had this conversation. People need to know.
Listen, I'm overly dramatic. Ignore me. I want to know.
This is real.
Okay.
It's real. Yeah.
So I was going, no, I feel actual muscle tears. I need a chest x-ray or an EKG. Well, you wouldn't feel muscle tears. I said, I've cut a chicken before in my life. I know what a muscle looks like. I feel if I was the chicken, I would know what it felt like to have a muscle tear. But she was like, no, this is just your anxiety. That's why you're feeling those tears. You just need fluids and bed rest. Now, fortunately, I work for myself. I'm the executive director of my own organization. So for me, I looked at my partner and I said, so I'm shutting down my organization.
Right.
We're taking a 4 to 6 week leave. I don't know what this is, but if everyone's saying it's only 2 weeks, you have to deal with it. Unless I literally cannot wake up or you hear me stop breathing, we're not going to the emergency room. Because if this is how overloaded medical professionals are, I don't need to be in that environment anyway. Because, you know, the melanin.
I know.
In my personal experience.
Let's be honest. They have not. It's already been put out there. They did not take care of the African American community very well. But
let's also remind everybody that this is a constant thing that happens, which is why the morbidity rate in Black women giving birth is so high.
That's right. It's a
because
common
Black
practice
women are
color.
constantly dismissed, and there's still doctors who believe that Black women can't feel pain. Let's just remind y'all. 2020. There are men doctors out there, white men doctors, who believe that black women cannot feel pain.
And there's a lot of other doctors, because my PCPE is a Harvard-trained female.
I've never heard that before.
Whose specialty is black millennial women. So,
isn't it ironic?
Ironic that at Harvard's teaching hospital, with a Harvard-trained physician who specializes in my age group and demographic, it's like, oh, fluids and bed rest. So I was like, okay, I'm a tough cookie. I can wait this out 2 weeks and then go to another doctor.
You shouldn't have to be a tough cookie during a pandemic.
I agree with you, but I also, 24 hours later, found out one of the ladies in our office building who, remember I said we had that 15, 20 minutes to clear the building? I got her obituary. So that made me go.
No way.
Yeah. She was 40.
What?
Sorry.
Take your time. We want to know this. Take your time.
So I reached out to her family, and they said she was going through the same thing I was going through. And when I told them my suspicion, they pretty much echoed my agreement that she went to her doctor with the same concerns, and she had a negative COVID test. And for me, it just wasn't making sense. Like, we were both healthy women who exercise daily. I mean, I wouldn't say I don't have any, like, sins, I like to call them, in terms of I love Coca-Cola. Like, I'm not going to deny that. But in terms of the average bear, healthy.
Yeah.
For her to be taken out that quickly made me realize we probably had a similar point of exposure, but it wasn't a 2-week viral infection window. It was probably a 4 to 5 week, or the adrenaline the first 2 weeks of the pandemic hid a lot of the slowly built up symptoms in us before it finally took her out and almost took me out. Because from April to May, I basically couldn't care for myself. I couldn't think. I could hear my heart racing. I could barely eat. I was rapidly losing weight. And my partner, bless him, he's not typically built for that as a caregiver at 31 of a woman who's been strongly independent. And so May 17th is my birthday, Taurus. And he knew I've been having a very rough time, especially because I wasn't able to teach kids, which was more heartbreaking than even me being sick.
Yeah,
and
I know.
Yeah. Tracy's like, I know, you stubborn Taurus. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because I had to yell at you. I had to yell at you. There's no way that, we're not going to worry about the kids today. We're going to worry about the kids tomorrow. Yes. Today, we worry about you. We deal with you.
And my mother thanks you for that.
Ball. Oh, does she?
Yeah, because if you're
yes, because she was trying to be low key with it. And she
Tell
was like,
your mama I got nothing but mommy energy in me. My son is in your age bracket, and everybody's got readings with me, even if they're in my age bracket. I'm like, hell no. No, that's not the way it's gonna go down. This is what you're gonna do. So go ahead. Please tell us. People are interested, by the way.
So you're telling us also that it's not a 1 or 2 week thing.
No, it's not. And I will give more information at the end of this that I've discovered. So May 17th is about a month and a half.
Fine.
What you say, Charles?
Yeah. I would say people are like, oh, you get it. Some people just don't even have any symptoms, and they're like, oh, just quarantine for a week or 2, you're good. But you're making it sound like it was like a long process.
No, and I'm still going through it. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Tell us some more. I mean, it's a fascinating story. I didn't hear all of this, by the way.
Right. So I would say starting April, every 2 to 3 weeks, it was like a new symptom was popping up. And I kept a medical journal, and it didn't make sense. When I tell you from mid-April to early May, I literally can hear my lungs rattling. and I could feel rips in my chest from early May to mid-May. I couldn't remember people's names. I couldn't remember the day of the week, and is now known as COVID brain or brain fogginess.
Oh
and
my God! What? I've never heard of this.
Yes, that's why when you were like, "What are you talking about? Why are your cards looking like this?" I was like,
"I don't know what I'm talking about."
So from early May to mid-May, I started getting what is now known as COVID brain, which is uniquely tied to brain inflammation, which makes you foggy. You can't think straight. You can't do critical thinking. And for me, an overly logical and analytical person, that was probably the most frustrating thing. Take my legs out. Like, I literally screamed out, like, please, you can take my body, but please don't take my mind. Like, I can make it through if I have my brain.
That's right.
I can scoot all this other stuff to the side.
Yeah.
And so
I've never heard
mid-May, a lot of actually people who've been on ventilators suffer from hallucinations and COVID brain in more severe cases in which they lose track of time in any memory right before and after hospitalization, and they can't keep any short-term memory. For those who are either asymptomatic or symptomatic, one of the symptoms you will have, and it can show up 2 weeks after infection, 4 weeks after infection. I now have Black men who are reaching out to me in DMs going, I'm getting this 6 months after I was initially asymptomatic.
Oh my God.
And this COVID brain can also come up with other symptoms. So May 17th was my birthday, and my partner was like, I know you've been through a very rough time. You're turning 30. This was supposed to be your big 3-0. It also was unique because it was the 10-year anniversary of my organization. So, very interesting anniversary. And he was like, I want to do something special for you. And I said, well, if you want to do something special for me, then help me update my will and get my affairs in order with my family and my company.
This is unacceptable. This is unacceptable. It's unacceptable.
I'm really proud of you.
Don't cry. It's unacceptable.
Sorry, this is why I got the peppermint tea. For me, having to look at my 30th birthday and have that conversation with him, like, I don't tell you everything going on with my body, but when Miss Optimism here is telling you, I need to get this straight, and I want to make sure everyone's taken care of. I think that was his wake-up call, and then he told me about how when I would sleep, he can hear me stop breathing, and you have to shake me to make sure that I was still here. And he thought it was his imagination, but once he heard me give confirmation that I knew it was that bad, that's when he was like, okay, we need to just focus on getting you treatment and whatever you need for end-of-life care, if that's where you feel you're at.
Oh my God.
So that was my 30th birthday. By the end of May, I slowly was able to walk again. Like, I can walk from the bedroom to the bathroom. I can walk down 1 flight of stairs. I'm not going to say it like I can go through 2, which was the house. I can get from the bedroom to the living room and then would have to pass out for 3 hours. But I made sure I did that every morning.
Was that mostly about
what you say, Chelsea?
I was saying it was that mostly about like the oxygen deprivation because it's about the lungs, right? Okay.
Yeah. So now we have information on why that is.
Hold on, Natia. Cran-Weisbrod sounds like Lyme disease.
Hold on, we're getting to that.
There's more.
It sounds like Lyme disease or lupus.
Yeah,
that's the information that's come out recently.
Meanwhile, everybody remember we're in a pandemic. Why
this is still happening.
Call on another disease. What was this about a nebulizer, Bella?
Yeah, somebody asked if she has to use a nebulizer.
So this is where it gets tricky with the nebulizer. I know a lot of people who are long-term COVID or post-COVID victims or patients are using nebulizers. I personally don't use one because I could feel those tears in my lungs and heart. And my concern is it's pretty much a steroid, right? Yes. So if I'm going to inject a steroid into my system, my fear is that I'm going to exacerbate the damage that's already there. So could that have helped? Yes. But given we have such little information, my concern was it being a steroid and sending and sending everything else into chaos, if I can say it politely. But I would say starting June, I was getting better every week. And me and my partner made the decision that I will come home to Florida just so my family could lay eyes on me, because they couldn't really figure out what was going on. And I was like, well, worst case, if this is the last months of my life, I'll rather be home in Florida. So that way my mom doesn't have to try to figure out how to get my body from Boston and all this other nonsense, because I've gone through that. Don't want to go through that again. Well, obviously not me personally in terms of my body, but So I came home to Florida in early July. 3 days after I came to Florida, I felt worse than I did the worst day in April. And all of a sudden, I found myself on the floor, not sure how I was going to get my next breath. I passed out in the living room. I would pass out in the bathroom. And my mom suffers from lupus. She just recently got diagnosed with lupus 2 years ago. Okay. And the more she saw me face to face, the more she said, why every symptom I see in you is a symptom I experienced when I first was going through lupus. Right. And I was like you can have erratic muscle jerks, which I will have sometimes, the brain fogginess, the heart racing, the feeling the tears in your lungs and heart. And I was like, well, I know from my studies in school that H1N1 actually activated any genetic autoimmune disorders, which is called a viral infection, setting off an autoimmune disorder. This will be lupus. Sometimes it will be a Lyme disease. All it is your body fighting. Yes, all it is your body fighting an unknown intruder in it. So it sets off all your inflammatory responses, all your autoimmune responses. Your brain suffers from inflammation. Your heart, lungs go through inflammation. And so in response to it trying to fight it, it's figured out what it can throw at it. And when I thought about it, I was like, that would make sense, because every 2 to 3 weeks, it was a new symptom. Like one may disappear, or one may become more intense, or another symptom will come about. And so I cracked open my biology book, because now I'm home with all my nerdy textbooks. And I also remembered that when you have novel coronavirus, bird flu, any of those kind of novel viruses that hit the human population, it's either a viral infection is setting off something that's genetic, like lupus, or the viral infection has left some RNA, which is basically the genetic makeup of it, inside your body. And those traces are sending your body into fight mode every couple of weeks. Now, most biologists and scientists haven't figured out whether it's an either or could it be a both situation. But both theories make sense given what I've gone through. But when I got on that plane from Boston, and I'm going to say, for anyone thinking about flying, do not fly American Airlines. They're not social distancing. I wore
I saw them.
Masks.
Yes.
Sorry.
Y'all probably have an airline you don't like.
That's why they're going out of business. Americans are first to go down.
I'm with you on
as
this
they should. As they should.
Because my experience on American, not that the personnel was bad, but you can tell the policy. Like there was someone sitting next to me with no mask on, because he had a cup of coffee in his hand, like Ted Cruz. And I looked at him and I just had to chuckle at myself, going, I don't know if I still have bits of this viral infection in me, but you out here just risking it because you think you're so big and bad. But you know what? Good for you. Because I feel even when I'm mucked up, I can still outrun you in this airport. But don't fly American. I know Delta, Southwest, JetBlue may be changing their airline policy soon in terms of social distancing. Find alternatives or don't travel. That is my PSA in this story. That's your commercial break. How did
not kick him off? Because I've seen several people that have been harassed, tackled, plane stopped, not being taken off, etc., because somebody refused to wear a mask. And you're telling us that this guy was not wearing a mask, and they didn't even care?
I have video I can send you. I recorded video for my colleagues who were thinking about taking summer vacation, and I'm sitting here like, I made a horrible mistake. You know what? I should have figured out how to drive, because I don't drive, and drove myself down in the middle of racial unrest in America as a Black woman by myself back to Florida. What's the decision I made on 2 flights with American? Oh, sick, by the way. Right. But when I got off the plane, a week after, I was pretty much destroyed, worse than I was in April. And I was like, was I reinfected? Like, why am I worse than I was at my worst moment in April? So I went to an urgent care clinic here in Florida because in Florida, the COVID seems to be a whole different situation. Grocery store shelves are still full. People wear a mask when they feel like it.
You
so
mean you
still...
could find toilet paper?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's Florida. It's Florida.
No, in Boston, our grocery stores had 2-hour wait times to get into the grocery store. In Florida, I walked into Publix and went, there's no one here.
I can walk in.
Like, I can just, there's no line. There's no line.
It's so Florida.
I call it like a PTSD moment because my mom's like, what's wrong with you? And I'm just like, there's food.
There's food.
Like, I don't have to do crazy planning in my head of how I'm going to make meals. There's food. There's whatever food I want. And it's on sale. Versus in Boston, it wasn't on sale because they were like, whatever we get, we get.
And we're raising the prices on the 5 tomatoes we got. Right.
Right. And I was like,
I'm glad I'm here. I can like normal, you know, like all these people just don't even get
have empty shelves.
I know it is real. You're all crazy because you walk around. Well, it's just a normal thing.
It's just a whole different thing. And the fact that some folks in Florida are like, y'all taking my freedom. I said, I want you to try one day in Boston and March through June while you're talking about taking your freedom. Do you know what to punch someone in their face for a bottle of peach tea? And you sitting there with Publix peach tea by the gallon and you're complaining. Okay. That's freedom to me.
The violence of it all. I love it.
but no, so a week after I came in, I felt worse and my mom took me to an urgent care clinic. The urgent care physician on call did a chest x-ray and an EKG, something I've been waiting months for. And she came in and she's like, I'm sending you to the ER. And I was like, oh, why are you sending me to the ER? She's like, your aorta is inflamed. It's actually shifted in your chest. I don't know what that is. She's like, I'm sending you to the ER because you either had a heart attack or you're about to have a heart attack. And I'm like, shit. Oh, okay. Gets into the ER. I got to the ER about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And while I was in the waiting room, I know on TV, and this is why I also wanted to talk to everyone. I know on TV they show that the ER, there's like a tent separating COVID patients from non-COVID patients. Yeah. That is not the case everywhere. That is only the case at a handful of hospitals that are high intensity hot zones. In July, Tallahassee, Florida, the capital, was a hot zone. I walked into the ER thinking maybe there was a tent or a separation part or facility when I walked in. There was not. I went into the waiting room. The only reason I stayed was because I thought I had a heart attack or was about to have one, which is critical to the next part. This Black woman walks in and I hear her breathing like this. And have anyone has ever had a family member pass in front of them, you know something called a death rattle. It is what happens in the last hours of someone's life. Yeah. I unfortunately heard my father's death rattle before he passed from cancer 10 years ago. Yeah. So I had that memory burned into my head. Yeah. I heard it and she went to the counter to check in and she said, my physician won't open the door for me. He told me I have COVID and to go to the ER immediately. And the nurse who was checking her in was like, oh, okay, well, just sit in the waiting room until we can get you some help.
Oh, my God.
I sat in that waiting room for an hour and a half listening to this woman dying. I don't care what anyone says. If you've heard a death rattle, you know shit. If you do not get care within the next 2 to 3 hours.
Animals do it too. Yeah, animals do it too. They have a death rattle too before they die, usually. A lot of them.
Yeah.
It's a certain distinction. You know what it is. You hear it,
it's like a baby rattle and rattlesnake. Like you feel death in the room. I'm not a overly.
It's like a wheeze, but it has this like gap between the air, like these like little particles. Like I can't do it, but I hope I can.
Yeah, it comes from right here too, and you hear it. It's like like that kind of.
It's like
I call it like a rattlesnake with breaks in between. Like somebody got one of those rattlesnake because they're really big into Crocodile Dundee or something, and they're just shaking it and pausing. It sounds like that, but a wheeze in your chest. So I agree.
Yeah.
I was in the room with her for an hour and a half before they brought this woman an oxygen tank.
That's
and for me, I'm going, so you know she has COVID. If we're to believe current science, the mask she's wearing is not sufficient, giving her viral load at this point in time when she's at peak virality. And yet we're in a closed space with her. So if I'm coming in and I didn't have COVID, I have it coming out.
Right.
And all these, excuse my language, Caucasian parents were coming in with the mask underneath their nose.
Oh, yeah.
And then sitting next to her.
No. That's not a Caucasian thing. The blacks do it too.
Hold on.
All kinds of people do it.
I can only talk about in the waiting room.
Your
experience.
Your nose is so close. I swear I see it every day if I go anywhere, to a grocery store, anywhere. Oh my gosh. It's definitely like a third.
Put the damn mask on, people.
All the videos of memes and everything has to be posted before they go, oh, we're being made fun of people.
Well, I'm going to say here, I guess she had never heard a death rattle before or couldn't piece together her surroundings, and there were several other people.
No, I was about to do the same thing, Trace.
There were several other people in the room. I was there for 5 to 6 hours in that ER before I was seen. Mind you, referred because of a heart attack or potential heart attack. When I finally was seen, they did the chest x-ray, EKG, they even did a CT scan. But they couldn't do a complete CT scan because the nurse practitioner stabbed the IV needle through my elbow. So I couldn't get a CT scan because I couldn't raise my elbow above my head. And the entire time, I was like, I'm in the final circle of hell. I thought I was in purgatory in May and June, but no, I have ascended to Hitler levels of hell. And I don't know who in the past life did not like me, did not like my family, what I did, but this is a final circle of hell. I got a jacked up IV in my arm.
Yeah.
And this is the top hospital in North Florida.
Oh, wow. It's terrible.
It's the top
You're
hospital.
Still in Florida.
Yes. So
sure.
After they run out of tests, and I am in so much pain because of this IV needle that literally I call my partner and I'm going, you know what? I think it's meant for me to go. I don't know why I'm going through all these trials and tribulations, but I just want you to know this is evidence of the needle through my elbow. This is where I'm at. There's a COVID patient coughing in front of me, and the doctor just took his mask off to tell him he's sending him back to the nursing home. This is the final circle of hell for me. Okay. So 1 o'clock in the morning.
Wait, you gotta let me laugh. That is hilarious.
To you? I can't laugh at it now. All I can say is I'm here and I'm looking cute. That's all I got.
Oh my God.
When I tell you the doctors were taking masks off and just acting like things were normal. So I finally got discharged at 1 a.m. with the diagnosis of chest wall pain, that my EKG was fine and I should stop lifting heavy objects and just put ice on my chest because that's what caused me to not breathe. And they will send my medical records over.
That's an interesting point. Your EKG was fine.
Yes. If you know what you're looking for, it
got it.
Fine.
No, I respect.
And you know, a lot of this.
I want the people to know that your EKG can appear normal.
And so can your CT scan. And
so
chest
can
X-ray.
You can have certain swelling or certain things.
Unless you know what you're looking for.
A whole other story for another time.
Yeah.
They said fine. I knew that I was not fine, but that was an ER story recently too. Yeah, so that's not yet. It's not. They can't always see something. They don't always get the right angle, etc. Or the person who did it aren't fully qualified, etc. That or they're in a rush. They want to wipe it off.
Could be any of it.
You know, there's a lot of reasons, but it's totally unlawful. It's totally not cool. And it's just terrible that we have to keep on going back.
It's so immoral. Like, do your job.
I'm the one who's in pain. I'm like feeling like I'm dying. Thank you. Now I'm gonna go back to get checked again. You could have done that the first time, but they don't do things. It's just,
I would say the urgent care clinic saw something that they felt. And if you've been to an urgent care clinic, you know they don't send you to the ER because they need to rack up the money themselves. So if they're seeing something, they go, liability, get this heifer up out of here, liability. That was the response. Like, no, which hospital you going to? Okay, we're going to call over there. You sure you can drive over there? Because you should go over there. You should really go over there.
Yeah.
So if they're willing to let you walk out the door and I have insurance and I paid with a credit card, okay. So they said they will send my records over to my PCP. Now my PCP, despite me calling every 2 to 3 weeks since our first appointment in mid-April, has refused care. And what I mean by that is she's not returning my emails. She's not returning my calls to set up an appointment. And every time that I'm like, hey, can I set up an appointment to talk about my symptoms? Oh, is this an emergency? No, I'm not in the ER. Well, you should go to the ER if you feel it's an emergency. Since April. So because I had an ER visit, I'm thinking this is the catalyst to get her to finally respond to my messages and emails. So I contact her office and say, hey, the hospital's trying to send you medical records for my latest ER visit. They want you to follow up because you know that's required when you have insurance. Your PCP must follow up if they're in network with an ER visit.
Right.
Okay, well, just make sure they have this fax number and we'll review your records. I'm thinking, finally, movement. I did not get a virtual appointment with my PCP till early August, 4 weeks after my emergency room visit. So if I had had a heart attack or a stroke, how would she know? And I could only get the medical records from my appointment by going and using my phone and taking pictures of my medical records and sending it to her via email. Because come to find out, her office refused to accept my medical records. I'm thinking, you know what? You could have had a bad assistant. You could have had a bad secretary who was overwhelmed and just unplugged the phone or the fax machine or just refused to answer email. So during my appointment in August, I told her all the stuff that was happening. And she goes, oh, well, we'll just update your diagnosis in your chart to long COVID. Oh, that's all it took? It took you 4 or 5 months to say I was long COVID? When the Atlantic, the
what
New York
do they call
Times,
it? Hold on a second. What do they call it?
It's called long, as in a foot long COVID. Those who are experiencing,
what is long COVID?
So long COVID is when patients, whether symptomatic or asymptomatic, with or without a positive COVID test, experience long-term symptoms that actual hospitalized or those who've been on ventilators are experiencing post-hospitalization. So long COVID patients are those who are experiencing symptoms either 2 weeks up to 6 months, given that's the only sample size at this time, after initial infection. Some people immediately got these symptoms upon infection and they've had it the entire 6 months. Some of them were asymptomatic carriers when they were initially infected, and 4 to 6 months later, they are showing long COVID symptoms. If you're looking for articles, the initial term for these individuals were called post-COVID. They were also known as long haulers because it seemed like they were in the long haul for dealing with COVID symptoms. Now, with information from China, Italy, France, in regards to post-COVID patients, the general term now is long COVID, because there's been no one who's been identified as a long COVID patient who has 100% recovered within the sample size.
What does that mean?
That is where we're at. So, for example, Boston's first COVID case came in late February. So the sample size only goes back to late February, which would be what, about 7 months from now? Because September, 7 months. So 6 to 7 months will be the sample period for any long COVID patient. Those who showed long COVID symptoms 2 weeks after initial infection are still sick at this point in time. Those in Italy who were sick in January are still sick at this point in time. 20% of individuals, it is now coming out, who have experienced COVID or been exposed to the COVID-19 are long COVID or post-COVID patients, meaning whenever they got infected, they're still experiencing post-COVID symptoms. Those now include something called COVID brain I mentioned earlier, which is the brain fogginess. It is difficulty breathing, muscle exhaustion, fatigue, heart palpitations, bruising, as well as poor blood circulation, glaucoma. Some people I know who are in my now support group have just had eye surgery for cataracts. These are women in their late 20s and early 30s. There are lung transplants that are now in our group, some who are looking for kidney and heart transplants. These are all of the post-COVID symptoms.
It's like the thing, it really drags and puts your body down. Your body just starts collapsing. And I'm not going to try and interrupt you anymore, but I just wanted to say that for another time, just to let you know that I have a friend who she tried to get in for COVID testing. And I recently found out about this. She's in Colorado, and she couldn't get in. They were like, "Oh, we're booked for 2 weeks." Like, what? Well, then what happens? Like, what kind of, she couldn't get in anywhere. So basically, she has come to the conclusion that she had COVID. Okay, because she said she's never had asthma or anything like that, and she described it similar to you. She woke up like that. Said it was hard for her to walk from the bedroom to the bathroom, to downstairs, etc. Her breathing, she said, this was not normal, and the pain that she was feeling. And she said, and also she's like, I'm a really good smeller. I have a really good taste bud. I couldn't taste anything. I couldn't smell anything. And she's like, so she got over it though, right? But she was sick for a couple weeks. And just like last week, she told me how it's all come back. She's like, with this, I don't understand because they couldn't get me in. They're too busy. They couldn't get me in for any of the COVID testing. They have insurance, this, that. She's like, but I know that this is not normal, but she's also having major asthma breathing problems. And so her main doctor, they're busy, but they sent her a prescription for an inhaler, and she's sick again. It's like a relapse. So I was wondering, when you get COVID, can you get it again? Or is it kind of like, say, not like herpes, but like people get fever blisters or something. Those certain things, or strep throat, certain those kind of stay as a bacteria in your body where you can be, it doesn't make you immune to them because you've got it. It makes it so you can actually get it again. So that's a good question. I'm wondering,
you brought up a very good point about comparing it to herpes. You are absolutely correct on that. So there's 3 major theories right now, and I think all 3 have credibility given it is a novel virus. We can't tell which one it is, but it would all explain what's going on. So I'm going to harp on the herpes example. So when you have herpes, a piece of the genetic material that makes the herpes virus actually resides in your body. And what puts you into an episode or a crisis, or however you want to explain it, when you realize it's come back, is because your body has recognized that material again and goes, oh, hold up, you're not supposed to be here. Attack. And that's what your body's doing. That's one of the theories of what's happening with coronavirus, that those who are infected, symptomatic or asymptomatic, meaning if you got sick or you did it, it's in your body.
It recognizes it. Okay, because I mean, I've never had, and I don't mean it as like an STD. I mean, my mom gets fever blisters when she's stressed out or her immunities are really low. When she gets a fever blister, and I'm always like, "Ew, mom!" When I was younger, but it's like what I mean is that it stores that virus and it recognizes that virus. So your body does a similar reaction in certain ways by fighting it in the future. It kind of just sticks with you,
right? And that's and then wait, you're on a roll. You're on a roll. I'm showing you're on a roll because the other
you're on a roll.
It's lupus and Lyme disease. So one of the things I noticed is that if my body is in increasingly stressful situations, which I think my flight from Boston to Tallahassee was, it sent my body into crisis, which mirrors Lyme disease and lupus. So just like with herpes, when you get those fever blisters when you're stressed, your body is trying to figure out what is the stressor. And it's either identifying that virus genetic material, or your body's like, you know what, we're already weak, but we're not going out today. Going ham. Everything's got to go.
So still a fight. My uncle has Lyme disease from getting a tick bite when he was little. And so he's fine for a long time. He might have a year or two where he's fine. And then all of a sudden for 2 months, he's just so sick. he is not okay. So these are the things that harvest in your body. And it's not something like, oh, you took medicine for it, you're good for the rest of it. No, it's not like that.
No, it's long term.
That's a scary fact then. That's a scary fact and connection there.
No, and I thank you for that example.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just wanted to say something because my doctor is like convinced that I had COVID back in January before anybody even knew. Yeah. We were just hearing whispers and people were saying they thought that hantavirus was making its return. Like they were calling it or H1N1, and I've had H1N1, and that makes sense what you said earlier because I got diagnosed with fibromyalgia 6 months after I had H1N1. And then here now, last month, I got diagnosed with arthritis in my hand. So, but I had the same symptoms where I would wake up, couldn't breathe. I had an inhaler. That made it worse. Didn't help, made it worse. But nobody knew what COVID was or that it was even in the States at that time. So I went to the doctor and they're like, well, you don't have a wet cough, so it's not bronchitis. And I kept telling him it doesn't feel like I've had pneumonia, I've had bronchitis, and I've had bronchial pneumonia. And I was like, it does not feel like that. This is something way different than anything I've ever had. And so, by the time that they even started to have the antibody test, it was too late for me to take it because it had been, 5 months or something like that. But my doctor told me that the antibodies, which are built up to prevent you from recatching it, you only have those for 4 months tops. That's what they're discovering.
No, and that's
that
what
you only have them for 4 months, and that he told me, keep your ass in the house because most likely, you would catch it again, and you would be much worse because he keeps saying that what I had, if I had it, which we don't know for sure, there's really no way of knowing for sure. It's just all my symptoms match that, and I do get those heart palpitations. I freaked out and thought I was super anemic and started taking a bunch of iron because I've been anemic and that is one of the things. But I was just like, this is so weird because it came on out of nowhere and I didn't have any of the other anemia symptoms. I get that where all of a sudden I'm super exhausted out of nowhere and the brain fog. I'm like, well, that's probably because of fibro, So I didn't. I'm learning, she's saying all these symptoms. I'm like, oh my God, I've had that. Oh my God, freaking out. But it's really crazy how they don't really know, but my doctor said he's pretty sure that if you have it, have had it and you catch it again, it will be much worse for you and that you are susceptible to catching it again because H1N1, there's people that had it 3 times when it was, came here the last time. Same thing with SARS. There was people who caught that multiple times because they'd heal from it. Somebody in their family would catch it and give it back to them.
Not food poisoning where you're for a couple days, you puke it out, it's not the same thing. It just sticks with you, yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, and I would agree with Bella. Is that how it pronounced it, Bella?
Yeah.
Trying to be all okay. I would agree because one of the things, and this is my science background, I think the general public is not understanding. If I had it, let's pretend I'm going to be a scientist. I don't have a positive COVID test, despite them having a 20% false positive rate. So even if you had a test, it could still be wrong. Just letting you know.
Yeah.
Even if I had it in April. Even if I had it in April, that was the 4th month of the year. We're in the 9th month of the year. The antibodies, and if you don't want to believe me, Tom Hanks even said it. It only lasts 2 to 3 months. And with any viral infection that is novel, that the human body has never battled before, when you get it that second time, it's almost like AIDS. If you've ever been around an AIDS patient and you've seen their T cells wiped out, it mirrors what coronavirus victims have. Your T cell or your immunity is wiped out. So whatever comes along, regardless if you were symptomatic or asymptomatic, which you show symptoms or don't, we're noticing people getting colds and in the hospital on ventilators. Not even getting COVID, getting a cold. Your immune system, is shut down. Therefore, the people who are out here going, I was an asymptomatic carrier and I only got sick for a week or 2. Let me explain to you what tens of thousands of Black women have been trying to say and shout from the rooftops on Twitter. Just because you escaped her once doesn't mean she ain't waiting to come for you the second time.
Right.
She's like the girlfriend who's like, oh, you changed your number before I was able to figure out who she was? Okay, sign up to my iCloud, baby. I got you. You don't even have to pay for it. So I'm going to have access to all your keychains and figure out what you're doing. You have to think like that, because I don't think most people have dealt with someone with a terminal illness, so they don't understand how your body is susceptible to reinfection, even if you appear healthy. There are studies coming out of MIT and Harvard showcasing that 7 out of 10 asymptomatic individuals, those are people who didn't get sick physically, have heart or lung damage of some kind. If you look at college professional football,
later though, when it comes back, you know what I mean?
If you look at these college football teams,
the scariest part is the long haul. It's like, what has this done to my body now for the future? You didn't get through it and you go, I'm a survivor, but it's like cancer. You're like, oh, come back. That's always a bad thing. That's pretty scary for people, you know?
And
that's scary to me.
And I would say here, what's been bothering me the most is that I am not a teacher, but I'm an educator. I have a nonprofit, I work around schools, etc. My family can tell you the thing that has made me internally scream is the fact that people are not understanding, the reinfection bit. For example, it's been since April. This is 2 bags of peppermint tea. I can't really taste this. I can't taste a lot of things. My family members who've been infected can't taste things. This is not a short-term issue. It's a long haul. The reason they were called long haulers, I do believe, is to give a signal to health insurance companies, life insurance companies, institutions. This is not a 2 or 3 week thing and your employee comes back to you. I am a workhorse. And when I tell you, it's been 6-7 months and I just now answered 30 minutes worth of email. And I am like, I would say, top functioning, overly analytical person who is like, you would think I had cocaine energy. And it's taking me this long. Crazy. That is my indicator to companies, organizations, schools, family members. If you have someone who is getting sick, this is not a 2 to 3 week game. This is months and years.
Somewhat of a normal, healthy person who's not old, who's not super, super young, but you're in that, prime of your life. You are that healthy person to show that this is what it did to you, the damage. Who knows how long and how far that damage can take you? Because time, it's only over time that we're going to be able to even see more, right? For you to experience. But that was scary, and what you've already gone through is enough for people to be worried, to know that this is not a joke. This is very serious. People need to hear it from the people like you, when you go, oh no, you're young, you're not going to get it, or you wouldn't have the symptoms. You'd be asymptomatic. Oh, well, you do not care about them being around. Oh, you don't know you have it. Oh, well, guess what? So you're going to go hang out with your grandma? What about you don't care? Oh, I'm above that. You're going to go hang out, you're going to go to this party, this and that. What about other people's parents? And you don't know what their problems. Someone's getting cancer. Someone has really bad asthma. My dad has really bad asthma. Like, these people just don't care. Just think they're invincible. And the point is,
that happened to my friend Mike. His sister just died from it. Because one of their nephews had it, didn't think because he only had a little cough, brought it home. His aunt caught it so bad she's dead.
It's careless. That's so sad.
And
there's a lot of people who are careless, and they're just destroying like.
And she's 40 years old. A healthy 40-year-old woman took her out.
Just terrible.
And I will say this here. Oh, go ahead, Tracy.
I'm sorry. You keep mentioning the peppermint tea. What does that do?
So this is going to be me impersonating Tracy. Your vitamin D, your multivitamin. Here at the Dollar Tree, there's these inhalers. So there's like these, I guess it's like a menthol stick. And
that's only in the East Coast. You don't find that in
these here?
Yeah.
These help me breathe. When I tell you I have to carry this around with me, there's herbal teas that have helped me with eucalyptus and elderberry. There's Gypsy Cold Care that helps me. So if there's a morning that my chest feels extra tight, I drink those. Like, I know like 2 months ago, I wouldn't be able to have this conversation because I couldn't talk for more than 5 to 10 minutes because I knew I was going to be talking for an extended period of time. The peppermint tea helps me open up my lung capacity enough that I can do this. But even now, you may start to hear me go a little bit with my chest.
I actually heard it a minute
Yeah.
there. Did you try the breathing technique as well?
Oh, wait.
Sorry, Chelsea. Did you try the breathing technique as well?
I did.
With Rosemary. With Rosemary.
I did because my mother watches you and she told me to do it. The problem I had, is because the brain inflammation, now that I know what's going on, when I tilt my head, I was passing out or coming close to passing out. So then I even tried doing it like this and it was still an issue.
There's a machine. There's a machine that you can just basically pull up to your nose. So I'll send it to you because I got it from my grandson, just in case. I got it from my son who has sinus infection. It is a child's machine. Who the fuck cares? Like it's a little purple elephant thing. I'll send it to you.
Okay.
Because the nasal is really long, and so you don't have to bend down because kids won't do it that way. And that way you can still get your breathing in. I'll send it to you.
The other one that when I was in Illinois last, which was unfortunate because my grandpa just turned 94, couldn't be there for it. He's not in a nursing home. He's totally healthy. He's a veteran. He's amazing. Now he has to go through all this. But he's in this really, really nice, like kind of apartment kind of place, whatever. But they locked him in. They told him that they can't even hang out with the friends. They can't play, whether it be bingo or cards or watch a movie. They can't even go for walks and smell the flowers. They had to get room service delivery every day. For months, my grandpa is sitting there alone after his wife just passed away, and he decided to sell the house, goes there, finally makes some new friends, and this is the life that he's living in. And it was terrible. I mean, it is terrible. It still is. But right before he moved, though, when I was there, before COVID, he got like respiratory, like a bronchitis almost kind of thing. And I was feeling it too. So I went to just like a Walgreens, CVS, something like that. And I got these things, and it's shocking how well, I swear I helped heal my grandpa. I mean, he still probably got an antibiotic or whatever, but I heard him like stop wheezing, and it really helped him. And there are these little, like, it looks like a triangle, and they're Vicks. But what you do is you plug it in, so it heats up a little bit of the Vicks. And they have these little strips.
Yes.
And you put that in there, and you close it, and it fumes your room with like what you're doing with the nose, and it just it helps the lungs and the breathing. And because he was having major breathing problems, and I'm telling you, it saved him until he could get to like the doctor, like 2 days there, and it helped him recover faster. So when you're showing that,
I actually have it going right now in the room. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Awesome. They come in different sizes. I think I have like 2 different.
No, you can always get the replacement. That and the humidifier by Vicks that you can put a drop of Vicks and a little.
In the humidifier, I do the same thing. So you got that on one side of the room, the other side of the room. Like it, believe it or not, it can be golden.
Did we talk about oil of oregano? I talked about it before you came on. Please get oil of oregano. They're mentioning it in the chat, and I talked about it early on. Yeah, I'm not sure what it does. I did read up on it, and that's the reason why I got it, but I haven't done a video yet, because by the time I found out about it, the COVID was supposedly disappearing. So I was just waiting until September to do all the videos over again. So I'm going to do a whole series of, all the, but oil of oregano. Also, since I have a little break here, because heart seems to be an issue. So I looked up, I want everybody to respect that sometimes when I get something, it's not me, it's spirit. And so I looked up how to take care of your heart. This isn't COVID related, but it may help, especially, once heart becomes an issue. It's very important to eat well. Let's just start there. I believe COVID is not a fan of carbs, bread. A lot of people eat with 3 different carbs on their plate. Stop it. All right. So with that being said,
I was thinking, were you saying that it's good to like just eat tons of carbs? At first I was like, This is a miracle, Tracy. I'm just going to eat tons of pizza and I'll be good. But you mean the opposite?
Well, wait a second now. If we're talking about pizza, it doesn't count. I've already had a conversation with that bitch COVID, and pizza is something I need. But however, I did find a low-calorie tortilla, and I make my only 15 grams, and I make my own pizza now.
Nice.
Right. So I'm really trying. So let me give you some of the things that's good for the heart. Cinnamon. Put cinnamon in your coffee, people. Put cinnamon in your peppermint tea. Make a practice of cinnamon. Cardamom. I've used cardamom in magic. It's kind of like a pepper. It's an African spice. It helps to lower the risk of any blood clots, and any issues with the heart will always come down to having blood clots. So please get some Cardamom. Get that. Guys, right now, I don't care if your breath smells. Garlic.
Yeah, I was going to say garlic. Eat the whole clove.
Right? You guys know about garlic. I prefer fresh garlic.
I've done that. It's intense.
I prefer, squash the garlic, put it in everything. However, there's two things about garlic. Garlic powder. I didn't stutter, people. I did not say garlic salt. That's working against what we're trying to do to protect your heart. Garlic powder. However, when you're cooking, if you put equal parts of garlic powder and onion powder, you cannot taste the garlic.
I'm personally a fan of garlic. And two, I've heard, okay, I could be wrong, but I've heard that buying the powdered garlic is not the same as actually having fresh garlic.
It's not.
But it's not for everybody to be able just to chomp into a clove of garlic, but you can mince it or get minced or mince it yourself and put it in too. It's like a juice shot too, or a juicer.
And because I want people to practice putting garlic, I agree, Chelsea. Fresh garlic, just squish it just a little bit, even if you do one on every dinner dish. Remember, I don't really care about your culinary issues right now. I want 6 months of healthy living, and garlic is the thing that could do it.
Yeah.
Ginger, guys. Now, we talked about golden milk. Ginger. All right. They say here, chop it up and put it in your salad. All right. Curcumin is something found in turmeric. So we're back to golden milk. Now, for me, you can buy fresh turmeric. You could put the fresh, you have to peel it, put it in your coffee, put it in your tea, just drop it in, seep it. Like, you don't have to drive yourself crazy to take care of your heart. You just need to add some things daily for the next 6 months, especially while we're trying to get through the winter.
Keeps your immune system and everything a little brighter. I gotta get this one bottle to show you guys, but there's this one stuff. I've heard amazing things about it. I have to keep on reminding myself to try and take it. But it's made out of mushrooms, and they're little capsules. But they're made out of a certain type of mushroom that really heightens like your immune system. And I could go and run and grab it and show you guys. I've heard amazing things, amazing reviews of people that do that and they never get sick. There's a couple other things I was gonna say. You always gotta focus too on the superfoods. Like there are superfoods, so like kiwi, mango. What's one of the major ones? I'm thinking of. It's like one of the, those fruits that are just like super fruits.
From other countries, you mean those type of super fruits?
A lot of times, but like I think kiwi is a super fruit. Mango can be a super fruit. There's another one that I'm not thinking of though. It's not banana or apple. These things are good though, for different reasons. But there's a certain one. Ooh, I'll get back to you on it. But there's another one that it just has. They have so many different types of vitamins you can't get in a lot of other foods. Like they're called super, like the superfoods.
And also something called berberine. Berberine. Hold on. I found it on Amazon, guys. Berberine.
Berberine. I'm gonna go
All
grab that
right.
one.
And it helps with your triglycerides and reduces your LDL cholesterol. And increases your HDL cholesterol. It also improves blood sugar. So let's go over this again. Berberine, you can find all of this on Amazon. Berberine. Curcumin is found in turmeric. All right. Remember, we talked about golden milk, which is turmeric based. Ginger, and you put ginger in turmeric. Garlic. Cardamom. I've used this in Candle Magic because I've been looking up herbs for Candle Magic. But this, they're telling you it's very good for your heart. And cinnamon. Now, the only thing I'm going to say to you, Natia, is that golden milk. I don't know if you ever tried it. Have you tried it?
No.
Okay.
Milk tea is as close as I've gotten.
Well, people can make it with almond milk, but I'm not sure if you're a good candidate for golden milk. Because, because it really brings you down and it makes you so tired. And I don't want what golden milk can do to you naturally, and for you to get confused with having some, medical issues that are rising up. So for you, I would rather you use turmeric in your peppermint tea. Add some, a pinch of, but if you do it daily, you will always get your intake. But I wouldn't put when you put all the ingredients in, when you make golden milk, it makes you tired as hell. And I'm telling you, you have a good night's sleep. But if you're already having this, don't. It's like,
no, if you're already giving me the warning, I'm a lightweight when it comes to. I have a thimble of that Stella Rosa wine, and I'm already like.
Exactly. And that's how this will. It will make you feel exactly like that, right?
Stella Rosa's low alcohol, girl. You a lightweight.
I can do like with alcohol, but when it comes to
look at her.
Mine races so much that I think I could use that golden milk because it doesn't matter how tired I am.
No, Chelsea, I will send you the ingredients on golden milk. You will absolutely love it. Absolutely. What you got there?
Loves you. I was gonna say, so if you don't ever want to eat the garlic, there's these ones that apparently don't make you burp like you have garlic breath or something. You guys still there?
That's garlic pills? Yeah. No, we highlighted you. We highlighted you.
You can get that.
Garlic pills. Okay.
Yeah, you can totally do that. You don't take it.
Okay,
and so
I'm gonna do that.
Ginger, so you could do that too.
There you go. There you go. So you're ahead of the game, Chels.
I'm on it. And so I didn't know this was what was going to come up in the conversation, but this one is amazing. So there's different brands and stuff. Comprehensive immune support. Now these are made out of mushrooms, but I think that.
We just lost you. God, she was doing so good.
I was taking notes. No.
Don't worry. It's going to be on YouTube. Don't worry.
Okay.
That's the blessing of the video. She'll come back.
This is the academic in me.
I know. Got that pen and paper ready, Miss Scientist. Well, listen, I'm so happy that you are working on your health. We did talk about, your healing process, and you didn't know it, but Chelsea pulled some cards on you. Is it okay to tell you what she pulled? She didn't get your permission.
Wait, who pulled cards?
Chelsea, the one that just got deleted.
I was like, wait, what? Okay.
My people are card pullers. They don't know nothing else. The minute they're like, listen, I pull cards. That's who we are. So I would rather wait for Chelsea to come back. Oh, yeah. No, she's gone. But maybe she can tell you her own impression. But she was surprised that they were all wands. Seven of wands, anybody from my book club would know that's a fighting card, right? So the first card is the Seven of Wands. Seven.
Oh, wait.
Oh, never mind. Seven of Wands is a fighting card where you're like, you're gonna want to take care of this, right? Like, it's really a fighting card, right? Then it's the Nine of Wands. So the Nine of Wands tells me you will fight, and at the same time, your defenses, you have the fight in you, but your defenses, you're going to have to work on your defense.
Yeah, that I will say, not shocking.
And be consistent. Be consistent. You do not give up on yourself. You're not allowed to give up on yourself. It's very important that if you don't give up on the career right now, because stress is a bigger problem. So if you don't give up the ghost, then you've got stress on top of COVID residuals, and you're not helping yourself. And I'm not going to let you not do right by yourself. It will not happen with me, right? Let me see if I can put a different thing on. But I just wanted to read something real quick so you could understand the Nine of Wands. Any of my book club here? Let me just read the Nine of Wands. Strength in reserve. You have the strength in your reserve. Remember that. Stand your ground. You have the defense. It's in you. Your body, don't give up on your body. All right? Activating one's defenses. So your body is ready to fight. Ability to resist attack. All right? A final challenge. And I only say that because we have the winter coming, which is why I brought up all of those heart pills, because I want you to start building that even if the doctors aren't listening to you. You have a strong constitution. That's inside. I know you have a strong constitution here. I'm talking about inside. Okay, no worries. Chelsea's listening to us, but I'm just telling her about your cards. I'm so glad you sent them to me. The ability to recover from an illness. So there's no accident in the cards that she pulled. A healthy immune system. You will get it back. Whatever that looks like. I feel like COVID might make many of us forever compromised.
Yeah.
But you'll still get your healthy immune system back. Resistance to illness or infection. A prior conflict, which is the possible COVID. Protecting your rights. I don't know what that means, but remember that moving forward. Don't worry about it. You have rights. You have rights. You must remember that as you move forward, especially with the medical community that likes to play games, especially when they like to play games with African American women. You might have to start screaming and yelling that. Like, I'm an African American woman, and I think you are refusing care because, like, call it out. Call it out. Just say it, but stand up for yourself. If you look crazy, that's okay. But you need to challenge the person that's in front of you. They need to be triggered. They can't just say, go home, go home. All right? It's another problem to overcome before victory. And I only say that again because winter's coming. All right? So let's get out of this. And the final outcome card was the Six of Wands. It absolutely is one of my favorite cards. Hold on. Oh, she's sending me all the stuff. I'll send you the pills. The pills. Six of Wands is victory, success, triumphant, accomplishment. When I get that, I get the feeling not just in COVID, but in your career too. Like things will go, parallel. I just want you to care about your health for a minute. All right? Thank you, Bella. I heard that.
Thank you.
Bella's like, mm-hmm.
Oh no,
I hear
pulled
the
cards
Leo.
for her too,
I hear the
and
Leo
was
and the
like,
Taurus.
very similar, but then I was like, because I got a bunch of good cards as your final outcome, like all the best cards you could get in my deck.
Hold on, Bella. I'm gonna let you tell her, what you see. But it's winning. But you have to decide not to fight the medical community. You have to decide, I'm just gonna win. All right, Bella. Let me hand it over to you.
Okay, well, first of all, girl, okay, in the past position and where you're currently at, you are running the heck away from your Ten of Swords movement with the Chariot and the Knight of Wands. So you are leaving this behind. Like, you have literally dealt with the worst of it, and you are moving past it and fairly quickly. You have the Two of Pentacles, and you show up as the Queen of Wands. So there is a choice that's going to be made, and I'm feeling this is more towards your career. And you know what Spirit's actually saying is, consider stepping up and becoming as a profession, at least for a while. Being an advocate for other Black women that have to go through the medical industry, because you have this unique experience, and I feel like that was your purpose in being called to this, so that you could go through this experience as a Black woman, as a woman in general, and truly understand where we fail, where everything is happening, so that you can teach other women how to advocate for themselves with their own health. Because we're not taught that. As women, smile, it doesn't matter what you've accomplished, smile. Oh, don't raise your voice. No, sometimes we need to stand up in our chair in the middle of the doctor's office or the hospital and scream, I need to be seen, I'm having a fucking heart attack. Somebody needs to go and listen to me because I think I have cancer. You don't want to see me. You didn't accept my medical records. Fuck you. Get me a different doctor right now.
That's right.
And you are the person that can teach people how to stand up for that, because you have all this intelligence. You have the scientific background. So the combination of your experience that you have gone through with the knowledge that you already have, you're going to save somebody else's life. And you're going to teach other women how to save their lives.
Before you finish, Bella, I got the same impression when you came on today. I was just scared to tell you. I know Natia personally, the whole, scientists and kids. And so when you came on, I was like, oh my God, she's changing careers. That's what I thought, right? So let me tell you where racism shows up in an insidious type of way. Corporate America and the medical field. And I think Bella is absolutely right. You may have gotten this whole experience because, there's an opportunity.
It was your Tower card moment to clear you out of where you were and put you on your divine destiny path is what I am getting. Because you have the Ten of Pentacles, the Six of Cups, the Four of Wands, the Ten of Cups. Those are my destiny path cards. Like these, when it's a Ten of Cups and a Ten of Pentacles, and I always feel like that is somebody really truly stepping into their destiny and shining and being happy, and everything will work out for you health-wise, career-wise, money-wise. Like, girl, you are literally so protected. And Spirit also wants you to know you have a shit ton of ancestors, linked arms in a circle around you. They have been with you every second of this journey, and they were like, that is our divine beloved baby, and don't you fuck with her because we will fuck your ass up. Excuse my language, but that's what Spirit had to say.
If it makes you feel better, they've been bothering me the past couple weeks. I'm like, listen, I don't know what you're doing. Just let me get some sleep. I don't know what's going on. Just leave me.
Well,
just let me have my moment.
You know what? I sell but I'm going to send it to you, a health kit, a health kit, KIT. So I would say light a white candle to your ancestors. And if they're showing up, girl, they only showing up because they're by your bedside. They're, you don't know. Some of these ancestors, they're like this, just really taking care of you.
Yep. You can put a bowl of water out for them too, even if you don't have anything else as an offering. Even just putting a glass of water next to that white candle, they'll love it, But
your favorite ethnic food, whatever that looks like in your family.
Yep.
What is it?
Chocolate covered peanuts, goobers.
Ooh.
Oh, really? I love goobers, by the way. And my son can't find chocolate covered raisinets. I like goobers. Aww. He likes raisinets. So I collect these for him, but I haven't shipped them out yet. I've got like 20 of them.
There has been a little bit of a shortage, so I've been hunting for my goobers as well. So you're not alone. I understand.
Oh my gosh! If I find some goobers, I will send them to you. I will send them to you. We don't have a shortage
of goobers. So when I send the health kits out, I sell a money, love, and health kit. I'll put goobers in there too. We don't have a shortage here. Yes. You're going to be sick of those goobers. You better, listen, put them out. And I believe in crushing them just a little bit, and putting it in a small bowl.
Yeah.
But
you don't
Bella,
need a
tell her
huge
she's
space.
going to be fine.
You really are. You really, really are. Because I literally just kept getting this vision of you leading all these classes and being like, women, guess what? This is what you need to tell the doctor when you go in there. If they start to tell you this, you tell them that right back. No, you tell them that you want form, blah, 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 and you call your insurance and you yell at them. Like, I just kept seeing you being like, we're going to be bossy today and I'm going to teach you how to do it. Loud and proud and saving all of us.
So I think with the COVID, someone brought something up. Naima said slave medicine was very powerful. And I think that's what we're talking about. We're talking about going back to our original roots,
natural,
to our great-great-grandmothers that pulled something from the backyard. In every culture, guys, every culture.
Yeah.
If anything, the medical community has killed us.
Yeah. And, the slave medicine was African and voodoo healing that they brought over, from the other countries, or making do with what they had. But I always say this. They're the original naturopaths. We think naturopath. We think some guy named Kevin and his little doctors in some side, street that's telling you to drink tea and meditate, or some Chinese guy, and it's like, Give credit where it started.
So somebody said, "Is candle magic enough?" And the answer to that is abso-fucking-lutely. Just in lighting the candle, you change the energy. You change your belief system.
The intention and the energy.
Absolutely.
I just told somebody this yesterday. We can have all the crystals and candles and, oils and potions and this and that. But if your energy is not in the right place, that's not going to do anything for you. Whereas somebody can literally have a glass of water and the teeniest little tea light candle from the dollar store.
Yes.
But if you pour your energy into it and you're connected to the spirits, God, your ancestors, whatever it is that you're connecting to, hell fucking yes, it will be powerful.
And that brings me to another point, Bella, and to everyone listening out there. You have to start saying to your spirit guides, because they actually wait on you to give them orders. So you have to start saying, I'm going to heal. Yep. Work with me, because I'm not coming to you guys. I'm staying here. And so you have to, give your mind direction, every cell in your body. It sounds silly.
Yeah.
But it works, Miss Scientist.
No, it's true.
It works.
It's true.
Why you gotta call me out?
Because I love it.
But you know what, Tracy? We are metaphysical scientists.
We're metaphysical. So we're
We're
trying
all
to get
scientists. You guys are
trying
getting
to
a panel of
restructure
scientists right
that
now.
amazing brain of yours, and we're trying to put in that metaphysical, message of just believe. Seriously, what is it in the Wiz? Click the heel 3 times and believe. Believe in the power. Da 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 da.
Yeah.
Believe,
And I'm gonna say,
da-da-da.
first, remember your whole thing with Tauruses, and you're like, why do I get this? I'm sitting here minding my business, drinking my tea,
I'm just calling you
absorbing
out.
the word.
But at least I didn't call you out for being a Taurus. Most times I'm just calling Tauruses out. And I may tell you, they did not like me this year over Uranus and Taurus. But no, I was calling your scientist out.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
No, it really was. It wasn't
When me and
Taurus.
Bella both had it synced, like, mm-hmm.
I heard it.
Okay.
Well, girl, I was going to tell you too. I will be certified in Reiki next month, so you can DM me. I will give you all the Reiki you want for free, girl, because I am invested in you because you are in your destiny path. I love when I see people like just stepping into their destiny. Like, that's the best. And a lot of times we have to go through a tower moment for us to be able to have our destiny.
Yes.
Well,
all right.
Yeah.
What were you going to say, sweetie?
Oh, I was going to say, as you know, I still don't know how this happens. I don't know what that looks like. I'm still sitting here like, I know here is because I've gone through a lot, so I'm more anger is pumping the adrenaline for me to speak on this, but I will try to have the faith. Gotta have faith kind of part.
No anger. Let the anger go. Let the anger go.
And try. But I will have a request if I can have.
You might have been chosen for this. That was one of the things that Bella picked up in her reading. Hold on, because I want Chelsea to explain her own reading to you. You might have been chosen for this, and there might be an opportunity for you to kind of switch careers. I'm not saying you want to. I'm saying it might be in the cards, and I do believe that. Chelsea, go right ahead. What a beautiful anger.
So sorry,
you look gorgeous there.
So sorry, my computer died. I'm back. Catch me up with where you guys are at, or what's the topic?
I actually read your cards to her, but do you want to add anything in terms of what you saw? Because you were surprised she got all these wands.
Yeah, it was just strange because I was kept on shuffling as I was talking to you guys and cutting, and then I just decided to spread them, and then I just chose one card, and I was like, I wonder if I'm gonna get another wand. I don't know why. I just felt it. Grab the next card, another wand. Then I'm like, I feel like the third one's gonna be it's gonna be a wand. I felt it, gives me chills for sure. Pull it out, another wand. So you got 3 wands, and my reading was on you, because of like everything you're going through, and your story was like very impactful and impacting. So for me, I was like, it was registering me. I started feeling something, like.
Yeah.
So of course, and let me see, what was the word? Tracy, I got them over here. Okay. So,
by the way, they live in a dome house.
I was looking at the actual structural beams and going,
they live in a dome house. It's so amazing.
Cool. My cousin
I can see the stars, the moon at a certain color. I can see rainbows coming in. You can see the rain when it falls, snow when it falls. You can see the stars. It's pretty crazy awesome house, but I love it. I love the spaciousness.
It's so perfect for you and your. It's perfect for you and your mom. I mean, your dad feels like he's a very linear person, and it's so eclectic for you and your mom. I love it.
I love it too. And my favorite place in North Hollywood, my upstairs in that place, giant ceilings, in NoHo.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it kind of reminds me of that. I love that high ceiling, that open space. It's really
yes, absolutely.
And gives you more room to breathe. It feels so nice. So, anywho, so I picked 3 cards. Okay, so the first one, you got 7 of wands. Okay. The second card, which mostly your past, and mostly your present as well as your past, which you got the 9 of wands. third card, which is the good one, is well, not bad, but I like this one. Now you're riding on a horse. You can actually, not that you need the horse, but you're taking off. So in the first two, they both are kind of similar. It's more so about struggle and this and that of going through a hard time, but both are like kind of defiant cards, like defiance, like a struggle, but you aren't giving up. You're a fighter. That's what those cards are. It's somebody who's not going to let the other man, woman, whatever, win. You're not going to give up, basically. So it's a struggle, but you are very dominant in what you believe in, and you're going to send. I think this might be more about your future. Like your story can tell and show people your strength, your wisdom, your knowledge, like what you have learned. And you say you're in science, this and that. I think that maybe you being interested in that stuff was set up for you to even, I hate to say that you were meant to get COVID, or have all that. But it's like your past set you up to be able to be able to give that story, to be able to spread that word and that knowledge. And so the last one, even with the wreath and stuff, I see as a celebration card. You're still getting through it, but you're marching. Now you're marching, okay? When before you're fighting to march, now you're marching. So I see this as the future card. You're going to get through all of this. It's only going to get better. And there was a reason possibly behind you having to go through this terrible situation, because there's a lot of struggle, but there's a lot of fight and a lot of tenacity to you, clearly. You are a person of strength. You are a woman of respect. People should respect. And in the end, you can tell your story, and people can watch you tell your story, and you are going to be okay. So that's what I see. What about you, Tracy? Wasn't that really crazy? I've never picked 3 cards and had them all be the same sign too, like all wands. And I just felt like everyone was going to be.
The Queen of Wands in mine that I pulled for her.
Oh, you did too.
Yeah, I got the Queen of Wands for her, and I think I got like the 6 of Wands. I was like, this girl's is all about I'm working through this and get the hell out of my way.
All right. It's like, it's like, people that are psychic, intuitive, and have, and I'm sure all of us have our own things. Like Tracy says, I'm a healer. She's even had me rub her leg. I have that, but I also have premonitions of things like in my dreams and stuff. I see things before, sometimes while they're happening or right before they happen. And so I have that too. I can also do stuff with planes and stuff, and not just gravity and this and that, but I can actually, this sounds crazy, but I have moved things. I've been able to move things. Wait.
Actually, you told me that, and it's probably one of the things I've always been jealous of. You told me, I think you sent me a video years ago. I was completely jealous because I don't. All right, I was. I know
marketing's even such a thing, but the realization is
because I think you moved a spoon or something.
Your first mind goes like a third eye. It's like the first time you clap your hands together, you rub them together, you start to feel this pull when eventually your mind allows you to. There's so much of our brain we don't even use, right? Yeah. So you start to feel almost like a thread between your fingers, this energy, like a lightning bolt, but not shocking, but you can feel. I did this yesterday, Tracy, on Lyra, my little girl. You can call her Lyra, by the way. It's cute. Everyone does. It's totally okay.
Butcher her name. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
I'm sorry.
Well. And I had her close her eyes, and I was feeling this energy, so I went like this.
Yeah.
And I went whoop, on her nose without making any sound. And I said, "Now you can open your eyes." And she was like, opens her eyes, and she's like, "Why were you touching me?" And I said, "I wasn't touching you." She goes, "Yes, you used a feather. Where's the feather?"
Oh my God.
He fell, and I asked her where, and she goes, "Right here and there." And you put a feather on my face, Mommy.
You didn't touch her nose either?
I didn't actually physically touch her. No.
I'm gonna try that with Ezra.
It was cool. Well, I think sometimes it takes the reciprocant. That person has to also be open, and that's what I love about children. Yeah. They're like a lot of times almost like animals. they are open. They don't know can't or maybes. They just are open to they don't even say I can. They just don't know that. So their mind is open to possibilities of whatever. And so I've done a couple of things where it's like you can do this and you can try and force it. Doesn't happen. You can try and crunch your fingers together and put force into your fingers. It's not going to make magic. It doesn't work that way. The first time you usually do something, subconsciously you think, maybe I could. Probably not. Second time, somebody has had me do this a long time ago. Second time, I guess in my mind, I thought, maybe I could. Started to feel something more. Third time, my mind was almost like a race. Like I've gone skydiving before. It's like there's not a thought that goes through your mind. When that happens, it opens up your mind to where you're not technically thinking of a certain thing. So your mind's not telling the part is up your head, of your brain, that tells you that you can't, or that maybe you can, or possibly. There is no anything. It's just that energy. And you can flow if you're that type of person like me. You can make it flow, and it can come out of your fingers. It sounds crazy, but I've got some crazy stories for another time for you. But that's how I pick the cards. I feel like a thread of energy towards a certain area, and I close my eyes, and then I pull where that is directed. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
Well, I wanted
you did get 2 wands, so I need to get one for her too. So
you just reminded me. I just wanted to show Natia something. It's an energy healing technique that you can use on yourself, and everybody can use it. So what you do is you kind of, you put your feet flat on the ground. You can either sit or stand, and you grab, like with your hands, like you're pulling the energy up on you, and you imagine that you're feeling it, like all coming up, like anything that's bad in you, whether it's like, I just feel tired, I feel sad, whatever. So you're pulling it up, and then you take your hands in a circle and you start going like this, because you're gathering it out of you. You brought it up to the surface, and so you're pulling it out of you, and you do this 10 times until you feel like it's a ball in your hands. And it's crazy because your hands will feel like they're like tingly when you're doing it, and you physically take it and throw it off of you.
Yeah. Like a microwave. It's
What's
crazy.
that?
Have you done ever, I was going to say, if you've ever done like energy work like that, then too, have you ever, like when I've had these very random moments where I wasn't trying to do anything, but randomly I just feel like I'm like shocked and everything. I think I feel like it's already there without me trying to get into a certain zone. And I've used it, but I've gotten so into it when it was happening that my mind was just all into me, whether it be moving an object or this and that, where I did it probably for a little too long, and I felt so drained afterwards. Have you ever had that?
Yeah.
I think it takes a lot of energy of your body.
I get that way when I do my candle magic.
If you push it too far, of course, I just like get hyper excited. I'm like, whoa, I'm going to do this for an hour. Let's see what else I can do. $1 bill, right? I'm going to move you. I'm going to move this. I'm going to this coin. And then it like enraptures, like you're like, oh, you're engulfed in this thing. But yeah, you definitely have to know when to control this, to take a break, I think.
Yeah.
Someone like
that's why I like that, because it's just a quick thing that takes you about 2-3 minutes total, but you really do feel stuff pull off of you. So, I just wanted, Spirit said to show Natia so that way she can do it if she starts to feel like I got some crappy energy, because they keep talking about, especially like it's going to pull the heaviness off your chest when you feel like you're having a hard time breathing.
Yeah.
Nice.
No, I should probably do this after this call, because I'm like...
There's
pranic healing.
Focus too on her chest or certain area.
Yeah.
Well, you know
if
what?
you went to a pranic healer, they put their hands over you and they're pulling, using themselves as the conduit to pull the energy out of you, remove it. So this is a way that you can COVID safely do some pranic energy healing on yourself and get it off of yourself without somebody else having to be in close proximity to you.
But
that's you.
I would say
you have awesome stories to tell, and you're a survivor. So like you're gonna be okay. But maybe because we, you need good influences like this girl right here. So definitely, it resonates.
I would say upon leaving us, before you pull anything off, only because I think you're overwhelmed, not that the energy is bad. So I would just woosah. I would just sit still for a good 10, 15 minutes. Maybe just talk to your mom. Don't exert all of this. Just, tell her your feelings. Let your mom talk to you and just sit there for a moment. Then you could take a shower or pull off the energy, take a shower, and start all over again. But what we're giving you is good juju.
Okay, I was like, what I was gonna say is not that you all are giving me, like, at least I pulled good cards from everybody.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Didn't get like anything bad manner.
And I didn't pull cards on you because you guys don't know this, but when I read her a few months ago, I gave her something negative. And I never remember my people, never. And so when she called back, I was like, oh, I see something pain. And she reminded me, and I was like, no, it's going to go away. So even I told you in your personal reading that you were going to heal. So I'm just glad that you got more validation. So what I need you to do is believe.
And it's cool too because she didn't ask. I just randomly felt this energy and I just did it. And was that like you with you too? Like, so I just like randomly, I just did it when I felt it, and.
Well, I was talking about recipes in the chat. And Tracy was reading cards and I was like, oh shit, are we supposed to be reading?
No, we weren't.
I thought nobody was. I was just like doing my own thing on the side. The story was touching. It was like affecting me. I felt like because something affects you too emotionally, sometimes it can give you that energy or that your mind just like my mind was just right there. So I just felt at that moment I needed to. Like I've been shuffling these cards just as I'm just chatting for a while. I was like, I'm just gonna go for it, and that's what came up. So I think that's really powerful. And I was also gonna say that I think baths are great. I don't think people take enough baths.
Me too. I love baths. Yeah. Yes.
But I'm like starting to love baths. And I have like this whole thing that I do. Like I put in I'll put in certain oils, and I make my own little bags. You can get them for like $5 for a bag of like 50 of them. They're probably from China. Don't worry. I mean, I try not to say that.
We love it. We're not like the president. We love our Chinese.
But what I do is I get like organic oatmeal, raw oats, and I put them and I tie them in these little baggies. They also look cute in the bathroom. Like, hey, if somebody wants them. It's like, here's some fresh.
Oh, she's like, here's my little baggie.
Dip them in the hot, like a milky. And it's so soothing on your skin, and it smells good. It's awesome. I have a whole like regimen that I do with that when I do take them.
Yeah.
And see, I haven't done it lately because I've been afraid of trying to get out of the bathtub and thinking I'm going to collapse like an old woman who's like, my muscles go out, my air goes out.
I understand that.
But I think now that I have eyes watching me, I think I should. My mom's been pushing and I'm like, I don't want to be a Life Alert commercial. That is not where I want to be at 30. But
Natea, you can also take those little bags and just put them in the bottom of the shower where the water is hitting so that the steam releases the benefits of that too. And they also have those little, it's like not it's, similar to a bath bomb, but it's a shower steamer. And, then they have like eucalyptus and peppermint, things that'll help open up those lungs.
Like that are just bombs too, by the way.
Yeah.
Like little bombs, and then you can do it in a steam shower or in a bath. You can do it in a shower for sure. They're supposed to be for shower, but I'm drinking in the bath. Also another good thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're talking to Italians and Black people. We love Vicks. Vicks fixes everything.
Also,
easy nowadays.
For right now, since you can't do the neti pot, make your shower steam. Fill the tub up. I didn't say get in the tub. Fill the tub up. Put in some rosemary. Put in some eucalyptus. And just sit there. That in itself will clear your lungs.
Like I use sometimes like a jojoba oil or a even an almond oil.
Tea tree oil, jojoba.
That's what I've actually been using is tea tree.
Good girl.
But
good girl.
They can use your different scents and stuff, but just use a couple drops, obviously. But you do that stuff, and yeah, like she was saying about steaming it up, whether it be a shower or bath, shut the door to the bathroom, put it on the highest of heat, and shut the door, and let it sit there, let it steep, let your soon-to-be place steep for like 5 minutes, then go in, shut the door immediately. That's how you get it's really hard when you're in the shower or in the bath and you're like, where's the steam? But yeah, as long as you just basically steep it, it's like, tea or anything. You know all about.
Yeah, and you can always put your feet in the water too, because like a lot of people put Vicks on their feet to break a fever or like on kids, if you can't put it on their chest because they'll touch it and touch their face, they'll put it on the kids' feet instead.
Yeah,
so your feet carry everything up for you. So if you do want to do a bath, and stand in the steam and all of that, just dip your toes over into the water because it's nice and relaxing for you too.
Yes.
That's really
all right. Just thank you all.
Oh, your girl.
Thank you for the stories and stuff. Like,
look how
most people don't
love
much. You got the energy going. I like you. I like you a lot.
I know. I was like, can you come back and we can talk about nice things because I love you.
Well, she is so about the kids, and I can't wait till you get back to that. I just want you to do you for now. She does have a little project she needs to get done, so get that done regardless. And if you wind up, morphing into, public speaking for, Black women and the medical community, I think they might go together. I don't think you're giving up one. I think you're going to see like it's all beneficial.
Yeah, I think this is
all right,
there's
sweetie.
a perfect problem.
I'm going to let you go. We kept you long enough. Tell your mom.
Thank you for sharing your story and being so.
And thank you guys for
playing
cards and sharing information with me. I have one thing before Tracy books me off.
Yes.
Is to say.
I love the way people just challenge me. I love that.
Yes, I am. I am definitely going to challenge you. I have 30 years experience. No, I have 30 years experience. I'm ready for this. So, to people who watch this either live now or as a recording, regardless of when you watch it, my advice to you is I don't care what your reality looks like right now.
Right.
Or what your friends are doing, and this is not me being preachy, but you need to stand on your own decisions. And what I mean by that is if you are looking at between sending your kid to daycare or you guys facing a certain hard decision, I want you to listen to my story and make that decision for you. So you are comfortable regardless of what happens in the next 30, 60, 90 days, year. That this is not a decision to be made based on what your reality looks like, because not everything is what it appears to be. And this is coming from someone who's been trained by the #1 engineering school saying, what you're hearing on the TV is not what is the experience of your fellow Americans. We're just hiding at this point. When I tell you, I have $20,000 in medical debt right now. That fortunately I have insurance, so I don't have to pay it. For just that ER visit where they told me I had chest wall pain. I know people who have lost their sight and everything else. And their bosses are telling them, well, long COVID isn't a thing. Post-COVID doesn't exist. It's only 2 weeks. Okay. Just let them know you have this information now. Do what you will and make the decision for you and your loved ones. And don't rely on others to make that decision for you. I saw a couple of things show up on the YouTube. Oh, God, I'm sounding older already. This is what happens with the COVID. But just make that decision for yourself. And don't feel guilt-tripped to eat indoors, to send your child to a school, to tolerate your child being abused in a classroom or you being abused in the workplace, etc. If you need to make a decision, I am not a particularly strong person. I know they pulled strong cards. I don't consider myself a strong person. I am a trooper. I am a soldier. I follow commands. If I am telling you that I've stopped following commands because I've seen the devastation caused and not everyone talking about it, Make that decision for you, because eventually we're going to find out the actual landscape of damage. And unlike in September 11th, where we lost almost 2,000 to 3,000 people and at least one person knew someone, you know someone who's lost this battle, and you know someone who has long COVID. They just haven't told you yet, or your communication lines have not been going forward, or what have you. Because you know people. It has entered your circle. And you need that to make your next moves into the winter.
Respect. Yeah, right? Respect. And I know we don't always see ourselves as other people see us, but you are very brave. So I believe that you're very courageous. You're brave to tell your story. You're brave to be that open, and transparent. Like, that's beautiful. And yeah, it was lovely hearing your story and getting this time with you. Thank you so much for blessing us with your beautiful presence and stories.
Thank you for handling it and hearing it with respect instead of making it like a National Enquirer story.
No. Thank you so much, Nantia. And you are a strong person, because it takes a lot of strength to get on YouTube, tell a bunch of strangers all of your medical history, all of the discrimination that you face, to relive that trauma while you're still in the middle of recovering from it, and then to allow us to publicly do a reading for you on top of it, and to be even more in your energy. So, I have so much respect for you. Please, get my contact info from Tracy, because I mean that. I will give you any ideas, any racial healing, anything that you need, because, girl, you're a sister to us all now. And I just fell in love with your spirit. And I wish I could just wrap you up in love and hugs right now, but you definitely will get through this.
That's right. I'm feeling it. I think I'm feeling it.
No worries.
You can get mine from Tracy too, if you want.
Oh no, I'm Tracy now. I've entered the secret group of not secret text message numbers to actually be able to communicate. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you.
What? Wait, I'm confused. Secret text message?
You got weird numbers, and I don't know where they're coming from. I'll talk to you later about it. Yeah.
Oh my God! Please. No, I don't know.
No. Don't worry. I'm gonna do the love you. Bye guys. Thank you.
Bye. Hey guys, thank you so much for allowing Natia to tell her story. It is a very important story. I have a funny feeling there's going to be a lot more victims out there to sloppy medical care, and you've got to stick up for yourself. You've got, and even before you stick up for yourself, you kind of have to do the right thing right now. We're not eating the right things. We do need to take certain pills to set our immune system up properly. All right. So let's really fix all of that so that we don't have experiences similar to Natia's story. But even if you do, there's a survival rate out there. So come on, guys. Like, COVID does not have to win. It does not.
Yeah.
Don't let it. No, exactly. And I was going to say one last thing that she also totally embraced. You could tell from her story is that something that everyone, I think, needs to remember, and as a remind yourself to be conscious of, is listen to your body. Listen to your body. When people are like, "Oh, you don't got COVID," or this and that to her, she's like, "No, I feel something's wrong."
Yeah, I feel my lungs pulling apart.
Your body will tell you when something is not right for it, or when it is, or when something bad is happening to it. Listen to that third eye, that voice, or listen to what you actually are physically also feeling. Listen to yourself. Very important to be in touch with that.
All right, we were going to do a reading on Netflix, but I don't know about you guys. I'm a little tired. How do you guys feel?
Yeah, I gotta get going and make my kid dinner.
Okay, all right.
I don't know. I have these wand cards, and I've just been playing with them. They've been sliding across the room. So I don't know. I'm really drained.
Well, listen, I'm gonna bring Carline back in real quick.
I got things to do. Lyra's awake now. So.
I'm so sorry, you guys. It was so ghetto where I was.
It's okay.
No,
There's too much
absolutely not.
noise
The
and
good part about this show, no, don't never apologize. Like it's that type of show. We're not perfect. We're not The View.
My
And
computer died.
period.
it can be a little
The view is
sloppy,
so
and
fake.
I like it when it's a little sloppy.
You're right, because The View is
Because
so
it's
fake.
authentic and real.
This is
that
a good show.
Exactly. And I don't want to be like that. But we're
Okay.
going to get going. Thank you, Bella. Thank you, Chelsea.
It's nice meeting
Thank
you
you,
all.
Carline.
Nice
And
nice
to our
meeting both
special
you
guest,
guys.
Latia, who taught us so much.
Carline
Yeah, I
and
learned a lot. Wow.
Thank you guys. Thank you, Tracy, for having me able
Thank you
to
for
join.
You're
inviting
welcome,
me.
Chelsea.
Such
You
an
were
honor.
such a great addition. Thank you. Yes. Chelsea, you've grown up.
Every day.
It's really nice. It's nice to see the kids grow up. It's just nice when you guys have arrived. It's beautiful.
Right?
Oh, you're so
Lyra,
so sweet. Look at
Lyra, Lyra, come back. Bring her back in. Hi, baby.
Larry, say hi.
Hi.
She just woke up.
Hi. Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Gorge.
She is so
Hi,
pretty. So
Gorge.
beautiful.
She's
Oh
gorgeous.
my
She's
goodness. God
gorgeous.
bless her.
Hi, Gorge.
Oh.
Are you playing with the cards? She knows all about the cards. Are you playing with the
Hi.
cards?
Hey, pretty girl.
I see you. Look, wait, look. I got the cards too. Look.
Now look
See?
again.
Oh yeah, look.
Ah.
She said this and this and this. See, she knows. All right, guys, get going. Bye, Lyra.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye, girls.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye, everybody. See you next
Bye.
Next week.
week.